Welcome to Apocalypse, Mr. Mannheim.
Who are you?
Your new lord and master. You may call me
Archie! Archie's here. Betty's here. Veronica too. Reggie's here. Hey, Jughead.
When am I supposed to start, James? I didn't know
Whenever
where
you
to-
want. I will make it smooth in the edit. You just go.
Oh.
Just go
Okay,
ahead
I didn't
and
know
do
if
it.
I was supposed to. There was supposed to be a gap in the lyrics.
No, it's just a ramp out like on radio.
Okay, I thought. Well, they had to list all the people.
They don't. We talk over the people. Fuck the people.
Yeah, fuck the people.
That's how I feel in life. That's how I feel about the songs.
We the
agree.
people.
No, bro. Fuck the record and fuck the people. You guys ever listen to the albums from Snot?
No.
Shée, we just start the show already.
Yeah.
Is this staying in?
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
fine.
Grab your cardboard Burger King hats and accept you gave Jose Menendez money if you had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon tape.
This can't be released. Okay, this is what? This is the Dark
It's
Side's
Dark
Couch
Side's
Show.
Couch.
It's the Dark Side's Couch Show, and this
I'm
is
Shée.
Yeah, this is James.
This is Mike.
Wow, what a professional start to the show. Mm-hmm. I warned Shée, like, you'll know when to jump in. Like, just jump in when it's appropriate.
You guys never listen to Snot, really?
I know, I'm sure I've heard something
Dude,
here
that
and
album
there.
is fantastic.
Mike is constantly bewildered that people have different backgrounds.
It's just like that was like a, of its at the time. That was
I-
just one of those things.
I don't know what Snot is.
was like a
besides
rock-
the
it was a
character
one
on, I think,
album-
American Dad.
It was a one. Oh yeah. But it was a one album band that just got huge, and then their singer and his dog, who shared drugs together, died in a car wreck.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Sublime?
No, I'm thinking of Snot.
All right, it's kind of the same
Wow.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not for you.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
It's
I
kind of the
guess
same thing. happened.
it is about
Huh.
the same story. That sucks. I feel bad for the Sublime guys. It's just like they just hit it huge with that album, and then the guy just fucking croaks.
I don't know, man. The next record probably would have been like a Christian album.
They were
would've
just like shit.
tanked. I mean, those guys. I'm sure those guys bounced back just fine. They did great. Shée, do you want to explain what you said there? Because I think it got lost in the madness of that opening, and I barely understood what happened.
I said grab your cardboard Burger King hats
Yes,
because they were crowns,
right.
like what Jughead wears,
I got
Right.
that.
and he eats
Following.
burgers.
He
I
does
got that too.
Loves it.
And except you gave Jose Menendez not mother, sorry. And except you gave Jose Menendez money if you had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon videotape.
Okay, now you
This
need to
is Dark Side's
elaborate.
Couch.
You need to elaborate on that part.
So Jose Menendez was like the head of the studio that released the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon videotapes. Like, do you remember like the best of collections
Sure.
and all that kind
Hell
of
yeah,
shit? We
brother.
all had them.
Well, had him.
So we all put money in
not
that man's
embarrassing.
pocket.
What
And
did he do?
his kids murdered
pretty
him
bad.
and his wife.
That guy.
Yeah.
The Menendez brothers.
Yeah.
Menendez.
Oh
Yeah, that's their dad.
man.
Those guys ruined the name
So-
Menendez.
Yeah, and
Hey,
so
you can't have
because
it
of
now.
that, also that means that you gave money to defend the brothers because Jose's money ended up paying for their defense.
Did they not get away
So
with it?
we all are complicit in them almost getting away with it. The first trial was deadlocked. The second time they got convicted.
Well, I imagine the brothers killed the parents because they wanted the money.
Oh yeah.
There's
Yeah.
also, I may have even mentioned this on the show before, but there's like a Scottie Pippen or whatever basketball card where you can see the Menendez brothers sitting on the sidelines. Like in the background, they're just
That's
sitting there
awesome.
having a good time. Yeah.
Dude, I just I watched that Tetris movie, and I guess like the
Tetris.
British company that tried to like fuck over everybody and steal Tetris from the Russians.
There was
that
kidnapping. There was all kinds of crazy
yeah,
stuff.
there
in
was
that story.
Ghislaine Maxwell's father.
Oh.
Oh
Like,
wow.
it was that company. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, the Tetris. I haven't seen the movie, but I know that Tetris story was bananas.
It's a good movie though.
Yeah.
Good.
Shane, I went to see Blackberry. Speaking of great movies,
Is it good?
now I'm a Matt Johnson fan.
All right, I'm
yeah, it's
putting
great
it on the list.
Well, Matt Johnson is he's done a few other things. A couple of like this is his most normal thing that he's ever done, but he's done a couple of very weird movies as well as a show called Nirvana the Band the Show, which has a lot to do with like how to skirt copyright laws. That's like a big part, a component of the show.
Oh, we should be really interested in that.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah, the main thing, I watched one video with him on YouTube, and one of the things he kind of said is like, one way that you can kind of get away with it is if your story requires a specific copyrighted thing. Like, it's got to be Skittles. There's no way around it. The only way this story makes sense is if it's Skittles. Then you have grounds for a fair use case. I mean, then again, you could do it, and the Skittles Corporation is still going to crush you. They'll intimidate you, and they'll smear you in the press or whatever. So they'll still win. But like legally, that's when you can actually make a case, is that you created a story that required that specific product. It's crazy.
I'm writing all this down.
Yeah. He's an interesting, crazy, smart cat. So he's a strange guy.
I owned a bunch of Ren and Stimpy tapes, so I gave that guy money too.
Yeah, we all watched. I rented that video game a lot, I think, from Blockbuster.
Those were some cool games. They had some cool video games.
They were too hard.
Well, back in the day, they had to make them hard.
Yeah. Keep you coming back.
Yeah, well, it's because
especially in the arcades.
Yeah, in the arcades, but it was like because of the technical, like the limitations of classic consoles, they were just like, let's just make them super hard so kids can just play them. Because sometimes, like, you can watch speedrunners and they'll like beat these old Nintendo games in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, no, the arcade games are often made difficult. Just to get you to keep putting pennies in, putting coins in, but they weren't difficult in a way that you could win. They were just difficult in like arbitrary ways, that the only way to win was to play it so many times that you just memorized where things was. It had nothing to do with skill. It was just memorization.
Yeah.
You were paying to memorize the fucking game. What a scam.
Yeah, what a scam. Yeah, video games were a waste of time. My parents were right. Your parents were right.
Yeah, you shouldn't be playing video games.
No, you shouldn't be playing video games.
No,
like, you're robbing
I don't know.
yourself of time.
I've gotten into like 3 video games in my lifetime. They were all really great.
I still play a shitload of video games.
Shée, the games you've played are very casual. Like, they're games that literally you can just casually finish in a half hour.
All right, hold on now. So
That's
one of them
not
was
true.
One of them was like what, Ren and Stimpy?
No. That was as a kid. Like, I wasn't obsessed with that or something. I also rented the Barbie game a lot. Like, I think I just saw something I recognized.
All right, so what's the last one?
I know what the last one was.
Those aren't the games I'm talking about.
You said 3, and now we're up to 5?
Just sort of making a general point.
I said I have 3 games that I really got into.
All right, let's go. What are they?
I know what they are. I can name them, actually.
No, I'm asking Shée,
right.
God damn it. What are your 3 games?
Because I know what she's going to say. Say them.
Amplitude, frequency, and unpacking.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is that?
They're tiny little games. They're not Final Fantasy games. They're little, like, casual point-and-clicky kind of like fun games or party games. They're not, it's like saying, you're a big gamer because you played, Guitar Hero or something. It's a casual party game is what
Shée, you
Amplitude and frequency are the precursors to Guitar Hero. It's you doing it with the controller.
Party games.
All right.
I wouldn't call it a party game, but it's a fun game.
And then unpacking.
What we got here is a fun comic.
All right, we're finally.
And then unpacking is where you unpack stuff.
Things. Yeah. Let's see. We got this is a book called The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Meet Archie for a couple of pages for just a minute.
Yeah, for just a minute. Even though they tell us it's 64.
Yeah, this is a total bait and switch.
Oh man, this was a blue baller for sure.
This came out on the Nintendo 64.
The TMNT versus Archie meets his Archie. I mean, it's not even versus Archie. If it was versus Archie, it'd be a little more excited.
Like the turtles show up and wipe out the town.
I did do a little bit of so I think we all know who the Ninja Turtles are. I don't think we need to explain that. We might need to explain a little bit about who Archie is, though.
Well, he's got that Riverdale show.
He's got that Riverdale show.
Yeah, I don't think he does because of that, James. Yeah. I think the kids know who Archie is now because of Riverdale.
Dude, you know what? It's funny though in that show, like they didn't hire a ginger to play Archie. They took a normal kid and painted him.
Thank God. Thank God. It's the way to go.
You can't have a ginger on TV for some reason.
Which is funny because I think in the Archie universe, in the alternate universe, you're a super Chad if you're a ginger.
I guess.
Which is why, he's got the original polyamorous OG trilogy kind of thing going.
Maybe back then, being able to produce your own vitamin D was like sexy.
Yeah, it was a cool thing. Yeah.
What a weird mutation. And I have it.
Speaking of mutations,
wait, is that what red hair is?
Yeah, if you're a ginger, you produce your own vitamin D. It's a mutation humans developed during the last ice age.
Huh.
Yeah, you don't need any sun.
It's not just white people. There are gingers in every race. It's just a mutation.
That's why Conan O'Brien is so powerful.
Yeah.
It gives him his powers.
Right.
I looked into this a little bit. Archie dates back to 1941.
Yep.
It was almost as old as Superman and Batman. I didn't even realize that.
Is
It goes
there
way, way
Archie
back.
fights in World War II like comic book?
I bet there is.
Those posters that told you to volunteer for the draft.
Yeah, he's
Uncle-
he's
like
not
Uncle
bad.
Sam?
Those posters, yeah. But
He
Archie's
ain't
like,
lifting shit.
do it for the country, do it for Betty.
Do you
He
think there's
probably
a
did.
Vietnam veteran Archie comic when he goes to Vietnam and comes back all fucked up?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, they did do some crazy. They did. So I was looking at some of the weirder comics that they did. Like in the 90s, they did they were just trying random crazy things. And they did a comic where Jughead travels to the future. I think I read about this on.
We should have did that.
No, you don't want to read it. It's
I
you might after you hear this part, you're going to want to read it, but the actual book won't be that exciting. I read this on youdon'treadcomics.com. It did a time travel story where Jughead travels to the future, becomes a time cop, and falls in love with a descendant of Archie.
You know what? You're right. Like you told me that, and it's gonna make me want to read the comic. And now I'm putting it on the wheel.
You can
Yeah,
put it on
but
the wheel,
I
but it's gonna be
absolutely
crap.
see that be disappointing.
I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't
It's just
care.
weird.
I got jokes.
Why does he want? It's, like it says a lot that he wanted to, that he fell in love with a descendant of Archie that just looks like a female Archie.
There's a lot I can do with that.
There's a lot. I will also say
There's a lot
the band.
Jughead can do with that.
Hell yeah.
Well, Jughead
He's
can't do shit.
He's
You don't
sticking
know what
that
he's
big
doing.
ass nose up Archie's granddaughter's ass.
Jughead can't work anything. He fucking sucks.
Again.
The Archies, the fictional band that opened the show for us today, unless YouTube made us take that down. So that was a fictional band. We all know Sugar Sugar, you know?
Uh-huh.
Da 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 sugar, sugar. And that was managed by Don Kirshner. This fictional band was managed by Don Kirshner because he had previously managed the Monkees, but then he got upset because the Monkees started pushing back. The Monkees wanted like control of their music, and so Don Kirshner said, "Well, why don't you make me a cartoon band?" So that if I get sick of anybody, if anybody gives me shit, I can just fire them and replace them and no one will ever know. And that's what the Archies was. Kind of genius.
I love the Monkees.
Wait,
Yeah.
the Archies were a cartoon band?
Yeah, they weren't real.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
they're
they-
real people.
They
It's
were
just like,
these.
they're just musicians that could be replaced because
Yeah.
their visual selves are animated.
So they're a
This-
boy band.
Yeah.
Well,
Are they?
Betty,
wait, are they the boy band?
Betty and Veronica are in it.
Wait, I'm so
Betty-
confused.
It's a band made up of it's in the comics. Like Archie got together with his friends in the comics, formed a band called the Archies.
What a fucking dig.
Like
Wait,
Bon
so
Jovi.
did the comic come first or the band?
The comic came first to create the band, to launch the band. And
Okay.
as a, basically a tie-in, and then they made an actual like bubblegum pop band out of it, and they made Sugar Sugar, and that was their big hit. But yeah, it was just these guys it was like Gorillaz, except managed by Don Kirshner, and
Okay.
he could just fire anyone he wanted and put
That's
in
what
a new
I was
gorilla.
going to. That's what was going on in my head,
Really?
but I didn't want to get yelled at by saying that.
Yeah, well, you get yelled at for something else instead. Yeah, so that's most of what I had there. I did notice that there was a bunch of other Archie books, spin-off books. So there was Archie, but Betty had her own comic, Veronica had her own comic, and there was another comic just called Betty and Veronica, which at one point was called Archie's Girls, Betty and Veronica.
He's like having them scissor in front of him as he like videotapes it.
This guy has the Riz. I don't
Yeah,
care what anyone
right?
says. This
Archie
guy is
fucks.
fucking, he can spit for sure. He's got game.
Maybe
Archie's
gingers are
based.
maybe Archie's
little
pretty
bit,
based.
little-
He's
he's
got
pretty
two
based.
girlfriends and they don't give a shit.
And they don't care.
They're
they're
they'd
completely
rather
okay
have
with
a
it.
win. They'd rather share a winner than date a loser.
Yeah, and in his universe, he's the biggest winner despite being a ginger.
Yeah, and does he play sports? Like, what is he
think he-
popular for?
I think he might play sports, but he also has a band going. He's got a polyamorous triad going, and he's got one of each. He's got a blonde and a brunette, so he's completely
But Veronica
satisfied.
doesn't act like she's involved with them at all in this comic.
That's her thing. That's just kind of her thing. She's aloof and standoffish, but
I
that's
think they
he's into that.
trade. I think sometimes he dates one and then he dates the other.
What a winner!
Yeah.
Man, what a winner!
He pits them against each other instead of at him for being a dog.
God, and they like it. Everybody knows what's going on. It's just a
Yeah,
game they
the whole-
play with
Look
each
at them
other.
celebrating Archie.
Dude.
Archie fucking two chicks. The turtles are there. That's how big the party is. The turtles
Incredible.
show up. They're like, "Hey, we heard this guy's fucking two chicks." Sugar doo 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 doo. That's what's fucking.
Well, that's
that's
why
the song they're listening to.
That's why the
Party
song is.
into fucking Archie's wet dick.
That's why the song's called Sugar Sugar instead of just Sugar. It's one for each of them.
He's like they're celebrating because he's bringing the girls back from the abortion clinic.
No, that's not what they do.
Problem solved.
No. Damn it. I got to reorganize the soundboard because all my things are all over the place. I can never find anything anymore.
Stop it. Get some help.
There we go.
Well, we'll get around to it. I'll fix it for next time. I promise. Who is the character of Reggie? Because he's mentioned a lot, but I don't know what he does. And he wears a shirt that says Reggie Club with a silhouette of his own face on it.
He'd be a good influencer nowadays.
Where's Jughead?
Jughead's
he's in the future.
Well, no, it's a wraparound cover. He's on the back cover with Michelangelo eating pizzas,
Yeah,
and then they shove the one black guy in the back.
Yeah,
there you go.
The one guy in town.
Yeah, the Tolkien.
Wasn't like the original Archie like a dork?
No, the original Archie was kind of like he was like a bad boy, and I think he didn't like being called Archie. He wanted to be called Chick, if I'm remembering what I read correctly.
I'm just saying, like, I remember he would always wear like he'd have his hair would be real like tight, and he'd wear like a sweater vest, and he'd have big buck teeth.
I think that was considered cool in the 40s, though.
Really? I thought they were like this was like a character you
know.
weren't supposed to like.
I don't know. I think he was supposed to be like a bad boy. He was supposed to be like a Bart Simpson.
I think you might just be thinking of his teeth because they look like buck teeth, but it's because nobody has separated.
No, I mean this was like back in the day.
I don't know. I think
He was
back
way
in the-
more detailed back in the day. This is like quickly drawn. It's like
Yeah,
this
they
is
had
like
to-
the style we're all familiar with, but I guess he was different when he first started.
It's funny that it's quickly drawn because there's a whole bunch of credits on this. I guess let's get into this. I actually think I had this comic as a kid. This is from 1991. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets Archie. It's a one shot. And there's a few different stories in there, and only one of them features Archie or the Archie crew. All the rest are just straight up turtle stories.
Because they're the only things that are interesting.
Oh my God, terrible.
Because Archie
Just
is
terrible.
not. Besides the fact he is fucking two chicks, but they don't talk about it.
Yeah, they keep. Well, they're very tasteful about it. I do appreciate that they just kind of let it be just a thing that if you need to know, you know. But everyone else is just kind of oblivious.
I mean, he's got them worshiping the fiery red bush.
You think he's got full bush?
Yeah, of course.
Wow. Yeah, back in those days, guys just let it be full bush.
Yeah, I don't think they knew to trim.
I bet he's got a Dutch braid.
Is that like where they have the chain come out of the tip of your penis? Is that what that is?
Shit, man, I hope so.
Gross. All right. Let's see. We got these gross out video game ads because
This game ripped.
cool
Ninja
thing.
Turtles 1 for Nintendo. It's impossibly hard, but it rips and the soundtrack rips.
It was pretty cool. I didn't have a Nintendo, but I did get to play it once in a while, and you can play it on emulators now.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. You know what? I think I'm gonna play this on an emulator because now I'm like,
Cool.
I'm curious.
Yeah. That was one of those games where I was really sad that I didn't have a Nintendo because I could have been a Ninja Turtle.
It was such a good game.
Ninja Turtle. Yeah. So, all right, let's get into this. This first story is the story with Archie, and it's called Green Legs and Gams. Listen to the credits here. Plot by Ryan Brown and Dean Clarane, but the script by Dean Clarane. And then the Turtles were drawn and inked by Ken Mitch-Rooney and Ryan Brown, while Archie characters were drawn and inked by Stan Goldberg and Rudy Lapik. It took a whole crew to do this, and the people that worked on the Archie characters did not work on the Turtles characters and vice versa.
Well, yeah, I imagine they just brought in the teams from both books.
Who did the backgrounds? I guess the Archie people, probably.
Yeah, probably, because they're in the Archie world.
Yeah, they are in the Archie
What
world.
if, like, the Archie guy's like, I'm not drawing no fucking Ninja Turtles? And they're like,
that sounds dumb.
It's like, all right, so they bring in the guys who draw so he's just going to put in, like, stand-ins, I guess, in the artwork, and you guys are going to draw in the turtles? He goes, what? Why doesn't he just draw them? I don't know.
He doesn't want to draw turtles. He doesn't think they're cool.
Fuck those turtles.
He
Which
said
is
he can draw
bizarre.
anything except turtles, and then started crying.
Yeah,
What if, like,
the one thing
his
he can't
kid
do.
just has a bunch of Ninja Turtle toys all over the floor, and he comes home from work, and he's just
Mm-hmm.
like, God damn it, I told you to pick up these fucking things.
He brings him Archie comics, but the kid won't read them. He just throws them in the trash, wipes his ass with them.
He's like, look at this, but because he's like, what was my kid doing, playing with turtles? Nah, he needs to be into this guy who fucks two chicks.
He's got the blonde. When he gets tired of the blonde, he goes to the brunette and vice versa. It's a
And
perfect
the mom
life.
comes in and goes, what are you saying to our son? He's like, he's practically a man.
He's 4.
In those days, that was really close. You had to start looking for a job.
I just created a whole personality for this guy.
Yeah, he's a
did.
good guy.
Whose name I totally don't remember.
Yes, well, it was the penciler and the inker. So I guess the penciler and the inker got on the same page and said, "Yeah, fuck it, we're not drawing turtles. Neither of
What
us
if he
are."
like strong-armed him? He goes, "You're not doing it either." He's like, okay.
Well, inkers are traditionally pencilers' bitch. That's how their relationship goes, and they both agree to it. It's a dom sub relationship.
Yeah, you can send your hate messages to James.
All you inkers,
All you inkers out
angry
there.
inkers.
We got a few comic book creators that follow us on Twitter, so like watch.
Yeah, I love them all. They're literally all my favorite comic book creators. I don't know how that worked out, but that's how it happened.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
You know what though? When I do contact some of these guys, I do say like I'll remember a comic they did. I go, that's like my favorite comic ever, and it's not a lie though, because like I have so many favorite comics ever.
I mean, people are so fucking talented. It's insulting. It's insulting how good people are. The things they do.
I just want to get the guy that wrote the Badger.
Right?
Connect us with
Yeah.
him, man.
Mike Barron.
We had one of his like artists like talk to us on
Yeah.
Twitter. It's
Yeah,
too bad
one of
this
my
isn't like an
favorites.
interview show. Just like
Yeah, no,
talking
I don't
to
think
these
we can keep our shit together that way. No,
Hell no.
We'd have to
Me and Shée
pre-record
would
that.
just have to like not be involved.
Yeah, we could pre-record it and dump it in later, and then you
Or
could
we can just
drop
take
fart
things he
noises in.
said and put them on the soundboard. And just
I can
use
do
them.
an interview.
I can't.
She could handle an interview.
I can't. I can only handle being interviewed.
Yeah, we'll have to record it when you don't. You're not listening. You don't know that. It's
Yeah,
going
right.
on.
That's fine. You can tell me. I shouldn't be a part of that. Absolutely.
So Archie's taking Betty out. Is this Betty? This Betty is the blonde, right? Betty Blonde.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
it matters.
Taking
Yes.
taking Betty out to make out point in his convertible car,
To anal
And,
point, I'm sure.
and they're starting to get at it. They're starting to have a good time. It's getting handsy. She's completely down with it.
He keeps like grabbing her hand, sticking it on his dick.
He doesn't like foreplay.
No.
Archie gets straight to it. When you've got two girlfriends, there's no time for foreplay.
I mean, he doesn't like they're fighting over him. He does not have to win them.
No, he's already got it.
Archie is the prize.
They're after that giant full bush, like a clown's head on his crotch.
Is he like the rich kid? Like what is going on?
I think he's middle America kid. He's like that perfect every kid. Middle America, got a good strong upbringing, but not quite rich. I think he's just supposed to be that guy.
You think like Jughead was just like jealous of Archie, like
I
his
think
entire
Jughead
life?
is fucking weird.
And
Jughead
then
has
goes
mental
to the,
problems.
Then Jughead goes to the future and becomes a time cop, and he starts fucking Archie's descendant, and then he figures out how to send a message back in time, and he just like tells Archie, he's like, "Hey, you think you're so cool? I'm a time cop now. Oh, by the way, I'm fucking your granddaughter."
I don't know, man. I think you've made Jughead a lot more cool than he actually was. I think we all
Sounds pretty petty.
thought that we were Archies growing up, and it turns out we're all just Jugheads.
He felt it necessary to do that. He could have just like, "Oh, I meet this guy. I found this girl I'm in love with. She just happens to be the descendant of Archie. Who cares? She's her own person."
I mean, I can relate. I can't let those grudges go. I'm mad at people from when I was like 8 years old. I'm mad at classmates from like third grade still.
I don't even
Dude,
remember.
drop those names.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I'm just look those people up. They're probably all dead by now.
Dude, I don't even remember anyone from high school. I don't remember
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah, high school was stupid. Dumb idea. High school. So, they're starting to make out, but then they get distracted because they see the Ninja Turtles being spit out of the mouth of Cuddly the cowlet. Cuddly the interdimensional cow.
Which, should I know what that is?
So
Probably
this
not.
is from the Ninja Turtles Adventures comic book series. I read this as a kid,
Yes.
and I forgot all about this motherfucker until
But
we
it
did
came
this
back when I
comic.
saw him.
I was like, holy shit, I forgot there was an interdimensional cow head that flew them around the universe.
Yep. And it's just
What
a
the
giant
fuck?
cow.
Yeah, the
this is how
Ninja
they got
Turtles
around.
Adventures comic book fucking ripped.
It was so the Ninja Turtles Adventures. It was meant to be. It's published by Archie Comics, obviously, and it was meant to be more child-friendly comics. That was a spin-off of the cartoon, but it kind of got pretty crazy. Like nobody was paying attention, and so they did some crazy stuff. We actually did an issue. This is our third time looking at the Turtles, but our first time was Shée looking at the Turtles.
Oh,
and
right.
The first time we looked at Turtles, we looked at some actual Eastman and Laird comics, and then we looked at the issue of TMNT Adventures. I think it was issue 40. where they went back in time and visited Christopher Columbus, and we got a lecture about colonialism and imperialism.
Yeah, dude, this was a base as fuck comic book.
It was a little crazy, and by the time it got
Wait, wasn't I there for that?
no, that was well, I guess we can check our little log right here, but I'm almost certain you were not on the show yet.
No, that was just me and James trying
Maybe
to
you just talked about it a bunch.
Because it's crazy. Yeah, because it was it's Teenage Mutant Turtle Adventures number 40. That was our 23rd episode, so that was before Shée. But that, it got a little crazy, and towards eventually, there was the Mutanimals spin-off comic.
That was a good comic too.
It was a good comic, and they had a crossover where they fought the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Right, there was like a capitalist who was trying to sell the planet Earth to aliens.
Yes,
and he
unleashed
summoned the four horsemen of the apocalypse to battle the Ninja Turtles.
And so, like,
Dude.
Famine made all of the certain Ninja Turtles, whatever, who were in the team that had to deal with famine, like emaciated them all to bones.
Yeah, and it was drawn like super cartoony.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was
like,
great.
The fact that nobody talks about it, and then there's like a double page spread that I think was all in red and black when they looked into like Death's eyes or something like that, and they just saw all of the Ninja Turtles, all the Mutanimals, everybody just writhing in agony and dying in this giant double-page red and black spread. It was insane.
Dude, it was episodic. Like, it was all one super long story. Like, there was never, like, breaks where it was like this is the section where they did this is the section where we did that. The comic just kept going. Like, it was one long story.
Yeah. It was pretty good for a tie-in comic.
It was fantastic. I loved this comic book. I loved it. Like, they killed people off. Like, they did all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, they were really kind of true to the spirit of it. I think just nobody at Archie gave a shit, so they were just doing it. I will say also,
whatever you want.
Our last episode and this episode have two things in common. We did Visionaries last time. Both comics have a patooey. People can spit out of a mouth, and they both have talking skeletons, or rather active skeletons. I guess
yeah,
not
they do.
Talking, but active skeletons, taunting skeletons. So I mean, I think that's interesting.
I recommend the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures comic book.
It is a good comic.
Recommend it. And the Mighty Mutanimals spinoff.
Really good stuff.
Which I just want to spoil it because it's just like, but
it's pretty crazy.
They end it in the way I want all comic books to end.
I think everybody just died.
Ice Age.
Ice Age. Yeah.
Just the old dinosaurs ending. So anyway, the Ninja Turtles get patooied out by Cuddly, and Betty and Archie see this. They say they're aliens, and they run back to town to tell the town.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the Ninja Turtles talk to Cuddly and say, "Where are we?" And this actually addressed something that I appreciated. The Cuddly says, "Well, you're in a different dimension." And Donatello actually, because back in the 90s, people used the word dimension really freely, really willy-nilly, just to mean like any weird place. But a dimension is, it's an aspect of reality. It's not a completely different geographic place.
Not necessarily.
Which is what they used to say. And Donatello actually points that out and goes like, well, Dimension X, this weird dimension we go to all the time, that's a different place geographically, but this is actually a completely different Earth in the multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually explains that. I'm glad they actually address that they kind of misuse
they get
the term.
technical.
They do kind of get technical. He tries to get into string theory, but everyone calls Donatello a fucking nerd, and he is. And so they just want to go out and party.
Didn't they get rid of that? Aren't we not using string theory anymore? They found it to be like...
Did they get rid of it?
Yeah, I think we moved on.
Move on to planks?
Yeah,
it's all about planks now?
Just like the vibrating rings thing. They were just like, okay, that's not what's going on.
Yeah, you got to have fun. You got to
Hey, you know what? This is how you figure shit out.
I don't know, man. It's starting to sound like Merklin was right, and science is
Stop
stupid.
figuring anything out.
It's all wrong.
Fucking Merklin.
Let me give you the power of face mountanism.
Yeah, he turns into a mountain. It's never made clear why the turtles are going here or what they're exactly doing. But they show up. They say, meet us back here in 12 hours, and we'll finish doing whatever weird shit we're going to do on this planet.
I seem to recall Cuddly had a job, right? And sometimes when
that
Cuddly...
isn't spitting turtles across the universe.
So sometimes, his job was
to
spit anyone across time and space in the universe.
It's really good.
I think he worked for a wrestling federation. Now that I think about it.
Wow, like an interdimensional.
Yeah, like
Wrestling?
interdimensional wrestling. Yeah, the Turtles were interdimensional pro wrestlers for a little bit.
God, I think I might remember that.
Dude, so good.
It was weird as shit.
And so Cuddly, when he was doing the Turtles favors of just like, hey, I'll take you to this fucked up place you need to get to. But sometimes he'd be like, hey, I got to go to work, so I'm just going to leave you here for a while. Right?
I guess that, yeah. I mean, I guess if you're getting free transportation, that's the trade-off.
And they're like, all right. So they would hang out in weird spots like this.
Okay, I can
This
see how
is
that
a
would
good
work.
example of what the Ninja Turtles adventure comic book was like, where it's just like random bullshit part of a bigger story.
It is that's true, but I do want to also be clear that this book sucks. This was not a good comic book. TMNT Adventures is a good comic book. This is not good.
Maybe I'm enjoying it just because it's reminding me about the comic book I liked as a kid.
Yeah, those are better.
That was like the first comic book I was ever like super into, where I had to follow it every month.
Yeah, that may have been true for me too. Maybe. I don't know.
And I like the black and white comic books, and they're cool in a different way. Mm-hmm. But I really like this one.
It's odd because they were so free with the license. They just let anybody who wanted to do a Turtles thing do a Turtles thing if they paid enough money, and the comics turned out good somehow.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And
You
the
wouldn't think
black
that.
and white comics got to a point where the creators like didn't want to fuck with it anymore, so they would just bring in guest writers and guest artists and let them do whatever they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been I had issues of the Eastman and Laird comic, the Mirage comic, and some of those books were fucking creepy, and some of them were painted. Like
Yeah.
there were all kinds of weird stuff they would do. Like it was kind of a nerd. Like now you look back and it's just kind of silly and satirical, but at the time it kind of fucked me up as like an 8-year-old kid.
It was interesting seeing them improve as writers and artists as well.
Yeah.
Because when they first
Yeah.
started, they were just like dorks who
They're
just
just
put out
having
a
fun.
comic, having fun, and then but they got great after a
Yeah.
while.
So that's why it was called Mirage. It was called Mirage Comics because they didn't have an office. It was just like their apartment.
Yeah, there's a there's a documentary about those guys,
Yeah.
There's several. We've watched
Yeah.
them.
Eastman and
Yeah.
Laird.
Eastman and Laird, two bosses.
Yeah.
So the Turtles decide they're going to go into Riverdale. They're going to go find something to eat, probably pizza.
Yep.
And then we flash over and we see Betty and Archie running into Pops. Pops is where everybody goes. That's their diner where they get everything. So again, two consecutive books with diners.
Yeah, and
where diners play a critical
there's a sign
role.
on the window that says whites only.
It's a total fabrication.
It's implied.
What year is Archie supposed
I was about
to
to
be?
say, I think this is still in the 80s or whatever. Or
This is
90s or
1991.
whatever.
I just assumed Archie always took place in the 1950s.
It's certainly meant to look that way, but I think it's supposed to be kind of timeless. It's
Dude,
just
I
where it is.
wish that there was a hamburger shop called
Yeah.
Pops by me that had milkshakes and
Yeah.
shit.
Well, maybe you can buy the license. Let's get
Like, I was
Pops
a
going.
Tops big boy guy growing up.
Yeah.
That was my shit.
You mean a
You say
Bob's Big
Tops?
Boy?
Bob's Big Boy.
Bob's?
Yeah.
I thought it was Tops.
It was
Tops
Bob's.
is cards, like baseball cards.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
you Mandela affected over from the
Yeah,
Tops
I'm Mandela
universe.
infected. Or I'm from another reality, and I got
That's what
sucked over
Mandela
here
effect
by
is.
Cuddly the cow.
That's what it is. Anyway, they run into Pops.
Sucked by Cuddly.
Oh, gross. And then we come into Pops and we see Jughead and he's eating his daily cheeseburger because he's trying to get diabetes.
I don't know, man. Like, that's protein. He's doing all right.
I don't know. Well, there's still a
Gonna
lot
lay
of
off the
sugar in there.
ketchup.
Yeah, no, he's a ketchup man for sure. So he
Shut your
they-
mouth.
They run in, and Betty and Archie start telling everybody, "Hey, we saw some aliens come in." Veronica gets super catty about it.
Yeah, it immediately just starts insulting poor people.
Yeah, she does say, Yeah, that's about as likely as me buying my clothes at a yard sale."
Yeah,
What a bitch.
I can see why Archie dumped her for the blonde.
Well, this
who's-
week.
we can tell that she's cool because she rolls her sleeves up.
She's a lot of fun, but she's probably a little prudish, except for the polyamory thing.
She just sucked Archie's dick in a car overlooking a bluff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was-
did you see his face? He had post-orgasm face.
Oh, were you looking at baby? She's like gulping it down. Archie's
She's
girls don't spit out nothing.
Yeah, very loud about it.
Jeez.
A lot of squishy sounds. Yeah.
Archie requires a lot of gross shit from his girls, I guess.
I mean, when you're pulling in that much, like you get very desensitized. You need to raise your tolerance for what you're into.
James and Shée like to make fun of me for being vanilla, but here's my reasoning behind that, right? Because the more you escalate your sexual needs, the more you're just going to have to do.
Yeah, and the less likely it is that they're going to get met.
Right?
It is nice if you
I'm
can.
keeping it nice and easy.
I do miss the ease with which things things were exciting when I was like 17.
Still good for me. I didn't fuck that up. I kept my porn fairly like okay. Like I never went too deep because I don't want that living in my brain and becoming a desire that I don't need.
Yeah, you can always go deeper with the porn. It's a little crazy.
I'm good.
You'd think there'd be a bottom, but there isn't. It always keeps going.
I'm fine. I don't need that. I don't need things living in my head rent free. All right. There are some like Garth Ennis comics where it's like I wish I never read them. Because it's just like Jesus Christ. Like that's too bad.
James convinced me to read The Filth. And
Filth
there
is
is
great.
still a scene in there that haunts me to this day.
I don't need the lady pulling the black cum out of her. Okay, like
That is in the book.
I'm good on that.
That is in the book. You should hear. And I won't say it here because it's too long to explain. But if you want to go look up,
That wasn't the scene either.
The artist, and I know it's not Gary Franks. I can't remember the artist's name. But if you want to look up the original opening scene. In the Filth, the dude's setting a woman on fire, but the original opening scene was something way, way worse, and he had to put his foot down and say, I just cannot draw this in good conscience.
Agreed.
So if you want to go look into that, look up an interview and figure out what he was originally scripting in that, oh my goodness.
Because it starts awful.
Yeah. Anyway, so
and
speaking
that's
of awful,
not the scene I'm talking about.
which scene are you talking about? People can go look it up
president.
themselves. The one with the president, with the breast.
Yeah,
implants
yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Okay.
That
That's
one,
fun.
that one.
That's fun. That's fun. So anyway, Betty and Veronica, or Betty and Archie are laughed at in Pops, and then
denied ice cream because apparently they're too drunk.
Because they're too. But before that happens, I swear I wasn't thinking about this before. But so Mike made a joke a minute ago about how the restaurant, how Pops says whites only, but. The black dude sticks his head in for a second, and then everybody in Pops runs out after him.
If you don't read the dialogue bubble, it does look like they decide to attack them all at once.
Yeah, but he was just announcing that Josie and the Pussycats were starting because they're all there for a concert.
This is a post-racial society they've got going here.
Oh, Shée, that's your movie.
Josie
What?
and the Pussycats?
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
a fun movie.
Isn't that your movie? Don't you have
not
play dates
necessarily
with
a movie,
girls
but-
and enjoy that movie?
Yeah. Yeah, you had like a dance party listening to the Josie and the Pussycat soundtrack.
Hey, I got an excuse to
I
play
showed Jess the Josie and the Pussycats soundtrack, yes.
that. I have an
yeah.
excuse to play that movie now.
It's a real fun, campy, kitschy movie.
I'm gonna play it. Let's watch Josie and the Pussycats.
Too bad we already burned that Josie and the Pussycats wheel song a while ago. We can't
Yeah.
use it this time.
You can just use it again. Who fucking
Nope.
cares?
I got another even better one.
Oh,
No, let's not go assuming that's true. So anyway, everybody runs out not to assault this black man because they are in a post-racial society,
We live in a society.
but because they're going to go see the Josie and the Pussycats concert,
I'm in a
right?
society. No, I got my Sprat card. It's called the Society of Professional Rope Access Technicians. I am officially in a society.
Not a union?
I'm a part of a secret society of ropemen.
Oh, you're a Freemason now?
Yeah, we run the world.
Hopefully it's a society of actually giving you work instead of just fucking giving you a card and calling it a day.
Nah, you gotta do that. You gotta do that on your own.
I have I contract out with a bunch of different companies, and I started contracting with this other company, and it took like an hour and a half for me to, fill out all their paperwork, and I had to talk to them and do a whole thing, not really an interview, but just sort of like a, put a face to a name kind of thing. And in the 8 months or so that I have been in contact with them, they have never offered me any work, but like every week they send me like a newsletter. They like make their own newsletter.
I get the same one.
What the fuck are you guys doing? Send me
Super
work.
Weird. Like,
You
you
can
want to
send me
take part in this town hall, this video town hall? I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Oh, God. I don't know. We may not be talking about the same company. I'm not sure. But either way, like, dude, don't send me
Which is
your...
great, because that means multiple companies are doing
Yeah.
it.
Don't say... Yeah.
You say, like, they should give me work. You know what's funny? Like, out of the blue, some guy hit me up, and he was staffing a mini tour of Post Malone, and they were looking for climbers. And,
Wow.
he got my name from somebody.
Nice.
And I was like, well, all right. I missed my chance because I waited too long to respond, but
Yeah.
that's like out of the blue.
Time is of the essence.
Could be on tour with Post Malone right now.
Hanging out, funning around, wrestling, getting crazy.
Getting
nuts.
crazy? Yeah?
All right. Speaking of getting crazy. Pops says that Archie and Betty are crazy, refuses to give him milkshakes.
Get the fuck out of my store.
They start wondering if maybe they're having a shared delusion, and maybe
He
this
does
whole
the
thing was
thing where
fake.
he like pulls the ice cream scoop back and whips like a scoop of ice cream at him.
Scoop. Little butter brickle right in their eye. Sure.
Get the fuck out of here.
So then we see the Ninja Turtles stealing some clothes so that they can go undetected. Which you think they would just bring clothes with them if they know they're going to another dimension.
I bet like they're like, we'll just borrow, we'll give it back, but of course they like leave before they have
It
a
never
chance
happens.
to. But then we like the story stops and we just zoom in on the house of the clothes they stole, and it's this guy.
It was the Menendez.
He's really fucking. This guy's really, really struggling. Trying to get through it. Like
that's all he's got.
And he's down to his last bit of clothes.
His last 4 outfits.
Doesn't have any more money for new ones, and he's just like, he's working 3 jobs. He's like, I'm just gonna quickly do my laundry of my 4 outfits, and then I'll be ready. He's like sitting in his house naked, waiting for his clothes to dry. The turtles come by and take it. And now he's got no new clothes, no money. He's got to get to his job.
Yeah, this is pre-Amazon.
Like, they just destroyed his life.
He can't have some same-day slacks delivered, no.
They're like, well, fuck this dimension.
So the Ninja Turtles are walking down the street in their ridiculous disguises. They pass the dog. I think his name is Hot Dog. And the hot dog says they look like walking Brussels sprouts, which is strange because dogs don't see green.
Yeah, they don't. Actually, that's not true. I looked that up.
I thought they had red-green blindness, and they saw blue and yellow.
They do see those colors, but it's like a weird spectrum. Like to say you don't see red.
I certainly know about weird spectrums.
Sure do.
Continuing, I can say it. You can't.
Shit, man, we're on the same show as you. What does that say about us?
No, I can say it. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they see it in some perspective, but like, they don't have the same rods and cones.
Like when they say like dogs are colorblind or dogs can't see certain colors, like that's like, that's a reductionist statement.
You're being so proper now. Well, normally you would go with like in the past you would go with a bullet point and just say, dogs don't see green, and that would be the end of the story. But now you actually want the nuance.
Well, because I was like curious about that. I'm like, how do they know? The dog can't tell them.
Well, also the dog is thinking in English, so that's also unlikely.
Well, we're in another dimension. It's fine.
Yeah, things are very different. None of those laws apply. And then we see Josie and the Pussycats playing, and everybody's partying. Reggie is wearing a shirt that has his name on it again.
So do Josie and the Pussycats live in this town?
Yeah,
I think they're
so.
from this town.
Okay.
But they go on tour
to
from time to time.
School?
I think they do.
Are
Don't
they
they?
Archie's age?
I thought they were. I assumed that they were all friends, basically.
This is like a spinoff, right? Spinoff of Archie.
Yeah,
Josie and the Pussycats?
they became their own thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And then they had their own cartoon. Josie and the Pussycats.
Is Archie
Brilliant.
in the
Long
Josie and the
tails
Pussycats
ears
movie?
hats.
I assume not.
I don't think
assume that it
so.
was a completely divorced
wanna know.
thing. It was like making the Venom movie without Spider-Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
great
They
idea.
would just fucking do that. Well, it's not an
Great
idea.
move.
It's not an idea. It's out of necessity because they either can't.
Just don't make it.
So we see Jug. I want to focus on this. We see Jughead partying, and you can't. We'll put this on the YouTube. You can't really. You got to see it to see how weird this is. But they drew Jughead with his head tilted back, so we're kind of looking up his nose.
Yeah.
But the way that his hat lands, it's like over his eyes.
So over one of his eye, but it looks like his like what would be from our perspective, his right eye is kind of like this black spot.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's pointed upwards, and it makes him look like he's possessed by a ghost.
Very
or
much.
something.
Yeah. It's a
Like he's
really
gone
weird.
mad.
Like he has a giant mouth for his entire head.
What if like the Josie and the Pussycats music drives children insane?
Isn't there I saw like a Japanese horror movie once that had like a pop band, and the song was killing everybody. The song was making everybody kill themselves.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. If anybody remembers the name of that movie, let me know. I don't remember what it was.
I'll look into it. I'll figure
And
it out.
so
Suicide Girls?
Suicide.
No, that was the porn site.
that's a
Suicide-
That's a
Suicide
softcore porn
Club?
site.
Suicide
It might
Club?
be Suicide Club. Might be Suicide Club. That's entirely possible.
I think I saw parts of it a long.
Where
time ago.
the kids keep jumping in front of the trains?
Yeah.
I think that might be true.
Yeah.
And also, kids out there are having rainbow parties now, and they're butt chugging.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
What are they
It's true.
doing?
No one has ever butt chugged.
None of these things were ever real. The butt chugging, the rainbow parties, the fucking like soaking tampons in vodka and putting up your ass, like none of that stuff ever happened.
Dude, my aunt.
Or
was
when
tell-
it did, it was because the rumor had already started
Yeah.
and frat bros heard.
Yeah.
Dude, I have a lot of like my cousins, like they had kids, and they were like telling me, like years and years and years ago about rainbow parties and how these kids are wearing these wristbands to let people know if you can blow them or not. And I said to them, like, that's not real.
That ain't happening.
Kids aren't doing that. Are you
Full of
shitting?
shit. Full of shit. So everybody's partying. They're having a good time. Archie and Betty are still upset that nobody believes them.
We're going to get a message from someone who goes, I used to do rainbow parties. It was sick.
Bullshit. Pics. I want to see some pictures
No,
of this really
James,
happen.
that would be pics.
Oh, shit. No.
Yeah, never mind. No.
All right. AI art.
No.
Consensual
No,
AI
it's
art.
just
It's not real
bad.
people.
That's
It's not real
still
people.
CP.
It doesn't matter.
It's not real people.
No.
Do not send that. Do not.
No.
I
do
mean,
not
nobody has a way to
solicit.
send it to me. It's send it to Mike.
No.
Hold on, everyone. No, so James is not good at stuff. It's not. He doesn't mean it in that way.
No, I don't actually want those pictures. I just want you to somehow verify
No,
this.
stop.
How about a letter from the
Stop.
principal? A letter from the principal swearing that it happened? And you got to break it up?
No.
Something.
Nothing about this. I want to be provable. I just
I'm
said
sorry.
it's not
I require
real.
proof. I
And
require
we're gonna
proof
get
if
some
somebody's gonna claim
motherfuckers.
it's true.
Yeah, I was fucking when I was 12. It's like, no, you weren't.
No, you weren't. I know you weren't, which is why I'm not worried about the whole picture thing because they don't exist. Didn't happen. Oh,
Good
keeping
God.
everything legal. You mean everything legal, everything above board.
Very fair use.
It's very
James
very,
cards every person he meets.
very Davidly.
Bozy bop.
That was a David Lee recovery.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's all about a hypothetical situation with a person who doesn't exist lying about something that never happened.
Allegedly.
We're so far removed from anything actually coming from it. God.
Oh, that was fun.
Stupid.
The panic.
So Reggie and Archie are going to get in a fight because they don't agree that there was space mutants.
Yep, and Archie's going to win that fight because he's going to pull through all the memories of being picked on for being a ginger, and he's going to fight like the devil.
I'm surprised anybody confronts him at all. He's the
ginger kids
town
will
badass.
fuck you up. That was one of my. I had to fight constantly because I was a ginger kid.
Yeah.
Kids always tested me. I
yeah.
I was in so many fights. It's ridiculous,
Yeah, so is my dad.
And
Dude.
Rorschach.
dude.
Yeah.
I must have gotten into 100 fights a year, easy.
Yeah, you'd have to double up some days. You have to schedule them.
Dude, sometimes you have to fight multiple people in one day throughout
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah, fighting. That's pretty cool. All right, so Veronica storms off. She's angry about something that really isn't made clear. And the turtles look at her ass.
Yeah.
And it's odd because the turtles, like, they act like humans and they kind of look humans, but let's keep in mind, they're not humans. They're 100% turtles that have been mutated.
But they also want to bang April.
Do they? They never try.
Well, it goes back. Well,
I
they
mean,
know, they know.
Raphael tried in the movie.
No, they want to. So keep in mind, everyone. Now, based off of what just previously happened, let's all remind everyone that they are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They are allowed to lust after this girl.
I suppose they are because they're animals, and so they don't have the same mores
No,
that
because they're
we do.
teenagers.
And they're teenagers.
Right, but they're not. Are they?
They're the
turtles?
same age.
Are they actually like 16-year-old?
Yes.
Or are they in turtle years 16? Because they haven't been around
No.
for 16 years.
Well,
Or I guess
turtle
they
years
have.
would be longer.
Yeah, because turtles live longer than humans.
Yeah.
Some of them do. Do they all?
No.
I think-
Tortoises.
Well, there you go.
That's
Oh,
not
no?
a turtle.
I just assumed that it was kind of like, yeah, if you leave them alone.
Parrots are
No.
like that too. They live for like 80 years.
I still don't agree that it's acceptable for them to be lusting after. I mean, I guess it's acceptable for them because they're turtles. They don't know human mores. Like they aren't built the same. But let's be very clear here. They are animals 100%. They're not like a hybrid human animal. They're just animals.
Right.
All right, let's be clear about
And
that.
they're going to fuck this girl. Supposedly turtles have gigantic dicks.
Well, that's what they say.
They're going
That's
to
what
be
they've been
super
telling us.
popular.
Yeah.
That's what Big Turtle wants you to believe.
That's why Archie wants these aliens to get the fuck out because he's noticed that they were turtles. He's just like, damn it, I got
That's just-
competition.
That's just some turtle that had a small dick, but he told him that most of it was pulled into the shell.
Right?
He had a lot more that could come out if
Right.
he wanted to.
You got to measure from the anus.
Yeah, you gotta go. It goes a few inches in.
So here, like the turtles are lusting after this teenage girl, which is okay because they're teenagers too. And the rich bratty
not
girl, which one was this one?
Veronica. This is Veronica.
She looks
Yeah.
like a Veronica.
Yeah.
And she gets grabbed by these two guys claiming to be from the IRS.
The Infernal Revenue Service. That's very fun. That's what they
good.
say.
Yeah.
Infernal Revenue Service.
That's good. And they're there to get, because apparently she received some cash gifts that she failed to claim on last year's tax return.
Which is funny because she's underage, so why is she filing
never
her taxes
worked.
at all?
I had to
She
file
never-
taxes when I was underage. I had a lot
At
of
like
jobs.
16?
Yeah, 16 and on.
Every job I ever had, I guess, until I was a little older, I guess, was just under the table.
Yeah,
I guess I didn't know.
I still take under the table jobs.
Yeah. No, I thought at that age you didn't have to file taxes. I thought your parents filed the taxes for you. What do I
No,
know?
bro, you got.
I don't think.
Even the under the table jobs you're supposed to. 'Cause
Oh,
they
yeah, I know
can,
you're
like, they can,
supposed
like,
to,
why do
but-
you have a bank account if you're not, claiming
Prove it.
any income?
They're paid in cash. Prove it.
You could still pull that card and say and tell everyone just like, why do you have all this money in your bank account and you didn't claim? Because I sold like a snowmobile that I owned.
Well, I also think you can, and this is not legitimate tax advice, but I believe you can claim a lot of times that something was just a gift, and then
Yeah.
you pay a certain amount, just add like a set number as the gift, and that's all you have to do. But obviously,
There is
complicated.
definitely a set number of a gift you can give to someone that they don't have to claim on their taxes, but there is a hard number.
All right. All right, we got to get moving on this. So anyway, they end up taking Veronica away. They put her in a car. The turtles witness this happening, and they drive off with her.
And she just goes with them. She doesn't know anything about stranger danger. She's just
well-
like, okay, I guess I believe you.
This is the most scandalous thing that's ever happened in this universe. There's never been any crime.
Oh, yeah, right.
This is the
Same
craziest
day as
thing that's ever
aliens
happened.
landing.
Yeah. There's never been any rainbow parties in the Archie universe, except at Archie's house, I guess, with his
They're
two
like,
girlfriends.
hey, those guys. So Archie and the crew, they see the turtles after they're looking for Veronica, and they're like, these guys look sketchy.
Yeah, but they could probably help us out.
They
We
figure
just
it
talk to
out.
them. They're like, yeah, oh, these must be the space lizards that Archie and Betty were talking about. I was like, well, actually, we're Ninja Turtles, but it doesn't really matter. It's the same thing.
I mean, they're technically aliens.
Donatello is talking about the different parallel universes, and he mentions the characteristics of width, length, thickness, and time. He doesn't say
Well, it's depth.
depth, it's depth, not thickness.
I know, but he was checking out
Idiot.
that girl's ass. And that's all
Yeah, he was thinking about that thickness.
Thinking
He
about
was
the
They did
thickness.
spell it with two
he was,
C's.
he was down with the he was down with the thickness.
So
for
like
sure.
they're like trying to find. So they blame the turtles and they say like, hold on a second, she got picked up by the IRS, and they're like, that bitch hasn't worked a day in her life.
No way. That's not true at all. So
And
they
Archie like turns to his friend and goes, she's been working my anus,
they immediately become friends.
and they like fist bump.
Hitting that pleasure bump.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah.
Having a good time. And so in the middle, they decide to leave the concert. They decide to get in Archie's car and go looking for Veronica.
I had a vision of Archie like he's like bent over and like Veronica's digging around in his ass looking for his prostate. He goes, no, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, a little bit then. Then she hits it and Sugar starts playing and his eyes roll back in the back of his head.
That's the only song I'll listen to during sex because it's 2.5 minutes. That's all
And
the
he
time
just-
I'm allotting.
But he fucks up and his pants were like not all the way down, so he accidentally just jizzes in his
You ruined it. Just came out of the dryer. Now you ruined it. It's terrible.
Dude, that's fucked up. Like, what did I think of that?
Protein stains.
What kind of weed is that?
I don't know. My jar weed is just like all mixed up.
It's a big jar of just
I have
bits
two.
of weed.
I have two big jars full of weed, and like, but people will give me weed, and I'll just empty the bag in the jar.
I get that.
So like, I'll get the sleepy shit and the psycho shit it's all mixed together. I never know what I'm gonna get.
Just get paid under the table in weed and just drop it into the jar.
I have been paid in weed before. You know, one time I did a gig, and the guy offered to pay me in Bitcoin before anyone
Nice.
even heard about what the fuck Bitcoin is. And if I took it, I'd have $100 million by now.
Yeah, you could have retired. Be
Yeah,
done.
I was just like, the fuck is Bitcoin? You better give me my $70.
$70 or 70
Well, that's
Bitcoin.
assuming
your
you
choice.
sold at the right time. Otherwise, you'd
Right,
still
but-
have nada.
Yeah, but
Well,
when I
no,
like,
it's
when he
still
would
a
give
lot
it to
more.
me, it was like I can give you 100 Bitcoin or something crazy like
It's
that.
still a lot more than it was 8 years ago or whatever. Like
Yeah.
aside
Yeah.
from that big 60K spike a couple years ago, it's been still.
That was during the
going more or less
pandemic,
up.
right? When it spiked and everyone sold. I remember
I think it was
that.
maybe right before. I don't remember.
No, I think it was right after.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
So I
long and
remember-
strong.
I remember everyone was just like freaking out about it.
Diamond hands over here. So anyway,
We're
the
still
turtles.
not through the first story.
Yeah, I know.
over.
Well,
yeah, nothing fucking happens in this comic.
the other
book.
stories,
I know
don't
nothing
worry about
happened.
it. All right,
yeah,
I know.
but
We
we
just
actually have to.
covered the we
Shée-
just covered the most interesting shit.
Eat some more of your goldfish and relax.
Damn, James, what the fuck?
No. It's because I warned Shée before we started. I was like, dude, it's going to be late. Like, are you sure you don't want to eat before we record? And she's like, no.
That's not why I'm upset or anything. It just dawned on me that you're right. There's no substance in this comic book. There isn't. This is good. Sorry, everybody. If you're expecting
You are in a
an
different
episode
zip
of
code from
depth,
the microphone. What are you doing?
I can hear her.
Yeah, it's fine. Continue. Please continue. I'm begging you to continue.
I forgot what I was saying.
I forgot.
There's
too.
no substance in this comic book.
Oh, but if we keep just doing pure tangents, we're not going to talk
That's
about
true.
the comic book at all.
That's true. I was just saying you brought a big tank of goldfish crackers and you said like I'll be fine and I won't complain
am
about
fine.
trying to get through
Dude,
the
I
show.
would
All right, fine.
love.
That's not what I know. I did not agree that I would not complain about trying to get through this show.
That sounds
my,
so
all right.
my entire goddamn role in this podcast is to complain about us not being on task.
You can
Fair.
tell how much disdain Shée has because even though she's the only actual trained improver here, she will not respond to my yes and prompts for anything. Every time I hand Shée a yes and, it's I don't know. I didn't really think about it. I don't have anything. It's just spiteful to me. That's exactly what it is.
What are you talking about?
Dude,
Yes, and.
go through the
Yes,
episodes.
yes, and.
Anytime I give you a prompt, you do not yes and me. Your response is I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it.
I never know when you're doing it either.
Yes and? Well, it's just anytime I throw to Shée.
I always maybe I just I always have something stupid to say.
Shée is just doing it to spite me, is the point.
Are you?
But yes anding is like if you say like I'm the Queen of France, and then I yes and you by saying, yeah.
It's still a prompt. I give you a prompt.
Maybe you should talk about the Queen of France some more.
I do like talking about.
Then she'll get it.
Yeah.
Do you got a lot of Queen of France material built up, Shée? You ready to unload on that?
You have no idea.
She's got pulls out all of her notebooks.
There are
all
some
her
good
rainbow notebooks.
There are some good Queen of France comics on the wheel that we'll get to. All right. So everybody gets in Archie's car and they go looking for Veronica and they find her by driving around
Find
until
her
they see the car. Well, case closed. Where's Cuddly? Get the
actually
fuck off
run
this
over
So
planet.
in the next story,
No. So they literally just see the car parked outside a hotel. Like, yeah, that worked out well.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it turns out, so they take her to this hotel. She didn't think
The
any of this
IRS
was
guys.
sketchy, and the IRS guys, they pull out a gun made out of cardboard, and they're just like, "You better call your dad and tell him to give us $2 million." And she's just like, "All right."
I don't care. It's not my money.
She's looking at the gun, and she's just like, "They could both still beat me up."
yeah.
Yeah, these
and
are
then
still
Archie
giant
is
guys.
just like, do you guys have gas money?
Yeah, they didn't. He
Yeah.
does.
In juxtaposition to them asking for $200 million or $2 million, the next panel is, you guys, I'm almost empty.
Well,
so
Why
does
are they
anyone have
with
money?
her? Why are they with him? I don't understand.
Cars
'cause-
back-
I met these
Yeah.
two girlfriends.
I know, but I'm saying cars back in those days got like 2 miles to the gallon. So
He's
this
got
was
no
like
money for gas.
he's got some money.
What
He
is
just
he
doesn't
bringing to the table?
He makes them pay for it.
What is he doing?
He hasn't bought a tank of gas in 3 years.
He hasn't done one charming thing yet. His personality isn't the best.
No, he just is
What
a redhead.
the
and
fuck
that's
is he doing?
He's the one redhead, man.
Was he lucky? Maybe he was he was a good person in a past life, and he was reincarnated into a town where the two hottest girls happen to have ginger fetishes.
Yeah, yeah. There's no other gingers to
And
go
there's
around.
no other
sure.
gingers for miles.
It's like, oh, we're just gonna have to learn to get along with this.
And here we could see a great panel where the artists who hate each other were forced to work together.
Yes, it's one of the few panels where we see Turtles and Archie together.
There's no background, right?
thing is-
It's just that it looks like it was drawn by the same guy.
I was
art-
about
yeah,
to say,
the art isn't
actually,
different.
I don't think that it does look like it's drawn by the same guy.
You think it doesn't? You can tell the difference. You think?
I think
can
it does look
sorta
like two
tell the-
different techniques, yeah.
Yeah, I can sort of, but I guess they did kind of a good job blending it together.
I mean, I'm sure within the range of the Archie comics universe, they all look
The
alike.
Archiverse.
It just
yeah.
doesn't make any sense. Why die on that hill?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was actually a fight. Like you made that scenario up in your head, and now you've
Their
convinced
union.
yourself that that's what happened.
Maybe it was just that they wanted to keep the style of the Turtles comic
Yeah.
to show that they're from another dimension.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably it. So the Ninja Turtles, they peek into the hotel room, stalking, peeping Toms,
Yeah,
which was just fun at the time.
And it turns out that she was into being kidnapped in a way they weren't expecting.
Yep. There was some Eiffel Towering going on.
And they're Eiffel Towering, but she's underage, bro. We can't do that bit.
Well, she's
I know I
also
just brought it up.
She's
But then
also a drawing.
But then I just realized, like, shit, I can't have two grown men like going to town on this girl. She's underage. That's fucked up.
You're so convinced that it becomes real if you say that about a drawing on a.
It's still.
Not good.
I'm not saying it's not uncomfortable. I'm just saying, like, if you've
You know
already
what's
laid
funny?
the track.
The comic books tell me it's okay because, like, in the next panel, there's a big 19. They're like, yep, she's 19.
She's 19. It's fine. Everything.
Make the joke
Go to town.
of this girl just fucking dripping out of both holes.
They are in room
Jesus
19.
Christ!
They're in room 19. And in fairness, then a pizza guy arrives.
Right.
So it's
That was the
definitely
Turtles' idea.
Yeah, the Turtles' idea.
How about you try to be a pizza dude?
cut a hole in the bottom of the pizza box and hold it right up to your abdomen.
What if
Sure.
the people from Archie just find the Turtles be insufferable because like they just talk like surfer fucking morons?
Well, they've never heard of this before. They've never seen surfer
Cowabunga,
dudes.
dude, and they're like, "What is wrong with you?" They think there's something wrong with the talking turtles.
They're from New York. They're cool.
Oh yeah, which one of them has a thick New York accent?
It was
Wouldn't
in a
they have
raft?
Japanese accents since they're
Bebop
raised
and
by a
Rocksteady,
Japanese
don't
guy?
they?
I
Don't
think
they
have a New
talk
York-
like this?
They
Oh
have
yeah,
an
they do. That's
idiot
because they're
accents.
they're part of a local.
Yeah, they're union. They're union thugs.
This page does have a drop of the word brothers, though, which
Does
in
it?
my head, every time the word brother or brothers was in this comic book, Hulk Hogan was
Right.
saying it.
Okay.
Oh, but they're actual brothers though.
They are. Yeah,
are.
it's
I thought
literally-
you meant it as in they were doing it
Brother.
the Hulk Hogan way, where like everyone just calling everybody brother.
No. They just say brother or brothers a lot.
So what's happening here is Jughead is pretending to deliver some pizza to this room, and then while he's distracted the IRS agents, the fake IRS agents, the Ninja Turtles burst through the window. They get in a fight with these dudes.
Yeah, the turtles who
fake
are
gun.
trained murderers just quickly murder the two men.
Why they had to
Break a window.
why they had to do this through the window, I don't know. They could have just kicked the
they
door
could
in.
like ninja kick through the door and just like bow staff one of those guys in the face.
Or they could have said, "This is an alternate universe. We don't care about any of these people."
Look at the size of the muscles on the turtles. Can you imagine like Donatello deciding to take your goddamn head off
Now-
with his bow staff?
Why do the Ninja Turtles have human musculature?
He's just like, hi-ya!
Again, they are mutated turtles. They are not hybrid human turtle mixes. Why do they have human muscle structure?
So how the mutagen works is that usually what happens is that it combines the DNA of an animal and another creature that it was closest to. Like if it has DNA on it from like a human touching it, they will take on the characteristics of that. Like Bebop and Rocksteady were two guys that they put next to a warthog and a rhinoceros, and because of that, the mutagen
Merge their
merged them.
DNAs.
So like the turtles,
We see
were-
that later.
So the turtles were pets, where they were like store
They were
pets.
Matt
right?
Murdock's pets from Daredevil.
So the kid just bought them. They were handled by humans in the pet store. Like so, when they got into the mutagen, that's why they took on human characteristics.
Well, literally, I guess I got to take this back. They are sort of hybrids with
Yeah.
humans then.
In a way.
Specifically, canonically, with Matt Murdock, Marvel's Daredevil. Because
Right.
that's what they snuck into the original Ninja Turtle comics. Is
That's why
the
Splinter
incident-
turned into a guy, right?
Okay.
A guy because he's like handled by his human. you
Wow.
know. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So the Ninja Turtles, they beat up these guys, and then Veronica's dad shows up and says, "Hey, thanks. How about I buy you guys some pizza?"
Yeah, he
Let's
shows
spend
up with a
20
suitcase full
bucks.
of $2 million and then offers to buy them pizza.
And they're just like, we don't care. Like your money's no good where we come from. The turtles don't give a shit about money. Why would they?
Yeah, they live in the sewer. They don't got to pay rent. They got a
Right.
mortgage.
They already live in shit.
Well, they do got to buy pizza.
Dude, who's
Buy them a
cleaning that
pizza.
sewer they live in?
Nobody. It's a sewer.
Dude, they got like, what are they gonna do about all the poop?
Yeah, they live in poop. I think we covered this on previous Ninja Turtle episodes.
Probably.
I think in the second movie, that's why they moved.
That
to the
seems like
train
something you
station.
guys would talk about.
Yeah, they moved to the train station in The Secret of the Ooze.
They're
The
like,
Secret of the Ooze
hey, you know what I really like about this place? There's no fucking shit everywhere.
it's not covered in feces. It's not an absolute paint job in our home.
God, they must stink.
Yeah, yes, all things that we definitely covered before. The fact that they smell atrocious.
They must, right?
So they have a pizza party and they all get together.
Pizza party. That's my favorite Ninja Turtles song
Archie, oh, that was a good one
from that album they made where they were like a live.
Oh,
band
I remember. Oh, I remember that party. I remember
coming
that.
out of
I
their
had the
shell
cassette.
because they were telling their dad they're gay.
Dude, I fucking loved that album. I
Splinter was
blasted
like
that.
totally chill
Didn't it
about
turn out that like Michael Ian Black and Ben Gazzara were
Yes.
two of the turtles or something?
Yes, they would tour around in the turtle costumes. I don't think they were on stage tours, but they were like Ninja Turtles for money in the early days. They were like the farmed out local Ninja Turtles that you could be.
I think
and also
I think Corey Feldman was Donatello in the movie.
in the first movie, yeah.
Yeah.
But in the coming out of their shell tour, they like got really far in before they actually did a dress rehearsal. And then when they finally did a dress rehearsal, they realized nobody could fucking move with those shells. It was like they let it go way too long before they realized, oh shit, maybe we should try on the costumes. And they found out we can't do it, so they had to
That is
redesign the costumes.
That is a great example of live event work in general.
Yeah. That's why they wear those. If you look up that tour, they're all wearing like leather jackets and stuff. That was so they could remove the shells and cover up the problems with the
Smart.
costumes.
What
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
workaround.
I mean,
That
you got to do it.
album rips.
What are you going to do? Like, you can't cancel the tour. You can't say, oh, we're not going to do this after all the shells were too heavy. Like, you got to figure something out. So, yeah,
You
they're
think
all
the
having
kids
a...
were just like, how come Shredder shows up at every town?
Yes.
Is he just
No.
direct this tour?
He's
Santa
their,
gets to
he's
every
their
kid.
Santa. Yeah, he's their Santa.
No, I don't.
Santa's on the show. Detective Crashmore on the show here. And we got this scene at the end where Archie is seemingly trying to talk Leonardo into a threesome with Betty.
He's
That's
like,
what's
hey,
going on. He's like, hey,
you want to help me fuck this girl?
I'm into weird shit.
Like, usually I let Jughead do it.
Yeah, that guy's I think he's aiming for me. The guy
I use
wants
his
a piece of me.
nose for sex.
His stupid fucking hat.
And here's Donatello talking to this kid about a Coleco.
Yeah, they're looking at a computer.
They're like, wow, computer.
Yeah. Oh, Veronica's on Raphael's arm. That makes
That's
sense,
right.
though. He's the bad boy.
She heard me talk about his dick.
I like how Archie doesn't mind it at all. He's super laid
He
back
don't
about
care. And here's the dog who's just like, I'm not allowed in. The black guy goes,
Compersion
"Me
is
neither."
easy for Archie.
it. Archie has a lot of compersion. Yes, he's all about everybody enjoying themselves because he knows at the end of the day they're all coming for him anyway.
You know, it says the end. Cuddly never came back for him.
No, they live there now.
They live there now.
They
Yeah.
own the town.
What if his sense of time is just so different? He's just like, he comes back a million years later.
They
and
tell
he's just like,
him.
Shit, right.
They tell him specifically 12 Earth hours. Don't play your weird cosmic games
Right,
with
but
us.
what if time moves much fucking slower in the Archie universe?
Cuddly should be able to accommodate that.
I know, but
It's his job.
Though they were specific. They
Yes.
said 12 Earth hours. He goes, all right, but time moves totally different from where they're at now, so a million years go by.
Do not fuck with us on this, Cuddly.
And he's like, damn. All right. He just keeps going.
So that concludes the Archie portion of our show.
Yep,
the best portion.
Trapped in Riverdale forever.
Yep. And then we have another story called Red Sails in the Sunset, script by Dean Clarrain, the same dude. Art and letters by Donald Simpson. And
You got to do
this
art
one,
and letters.
Ooh, the two great. Well, because that means he drew it, he penciled it, and he.
They're
lettered
like,
it,
hey, will
which
you
is
like
unusual.
pencil this for us? He goes, only if I get to do the letters.
Well, the lettering is
Okay.
cheap. Lettering is like that's the least expensive thing to do it because kind of anybody can do it. It's
I see
generally pretty
like
easy.
letters by, and they're just like, because no one wanted to do it.
Well, I think you can. I mean, most letters I think will letter a book for like $10 a page. So
Oh,
it's a pretty
man.
inexpensive thing, and you can burn. But you can burn through. You could probably do a couple books a day if you wanted to. You know.
All right, so that's
I mean-
like, how many books? How many
I don't
pages
know.
are in a comic book?
Like about
said
20,
64.
22. Yeah, it's well again, it's I'm sure professional letterers make a lot more, and if it's more intense or whatever. But like I think like if you just want someone to letter your comic book, they'll do it pretty cheap.
So like, yeah, do 2 of them, so you make like $400.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's
you know,
good. That's pretty good for
to
a
just
day.
sit at a coffee shop lettering. Yeah, it ain't bad.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I might do it now.
That probably takes forever, though. It's probably it's just little annoyances.
I mean, you just have to. Lettering is all about formatting it so it looks so you cut the line at the right place to go into the next line, rather than you don't want big open spaces in your boxes.
Well, I'm sure it's easy to do now.
Yeah, it's very easy to do.
Back
now.
in
There
the
are
day,
programs
there's a
specifically
guy with
for
a
it.
little pen.
Yeah, a guy had the tiniest pen in the industry.
The guy
All
had
right,
a pen, and he has to write it all in Comic Sans.
so this story is a little story that's it's more in the continuity of the books. It actually takes place between issues 16 and 17 of TMNT Adventures, and it actually looks a little cooler.
Yeah.
So I'm confused.
Yeah.
Right.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures is the one based off the cartoon.
Yes. Well,
Sort
it started as a based off the cartoon, but it kind of took on its own tone.
Correct.
And then this one is between two issues of that comic.
Yeah, because it's not really an important book. Like it doesn't affect the story. So if you're just reading the main book and you don't read this, you don't miss anything.
Okay.
But if you're a continuity nerd, then you can look at this. The artwork in here, you see their scales and
I
their
don't like
little-
it.
I kind of like it. I think
They're
the turtles should
drawn
look
like
gross.
the Michael Bay turtles.
Yeah, they're a little more gross, a little more alien. I think the turtles should look a little gross.
How'd that movie turn out?
Well, they did 2 of them, but I think they were crap.
Well, they made 2.
Yeah, well, yeah, that doesn't mean actually. Alan Richardson, whatever, the dude who he did one of the voices for the Turtles, and he was also Hawk in the Titans show and some other things, and he told some pretty crazy stories about the set there, like. They would forget to pick him and some of like it was really like a low budget production, and so like he and some of the other people, they would like forget to send cars for them, and they would just be like stuck at the studio for hours because nobody would come to take them to their hotels. Like it was shit. So yeah, it was not a respectful production. Anyway, so in this story, the Ninja Turtles, April O'Neil, and Man Ray, aka Ray Fillet, which I always called Ray Fillet as a kid because he wasn't in the cartoon and I was stupid.
Yeah, right.
So,
It's the Magneto thing.
yeah. Well, at least that kind of makes sense because that's not a real word. Like fillet is a real word.
What do you guys think it is?
I thought it was always Magneto.
When I was a kid though, and I didn't see the animated series, I thought it was Magneto.
It's an understandable mistake to make, but that's an understandable mistake because that whole word is a made-up word. Fillet is a real word.
The DC Comics version of that character is called Dr. Magneto. They don't call him Magneto.
I don't even know a Dr. Magneto in
Yeah,
DC
he's
lore.
a guy with a big magnet on his head.
Magneto. Dr. Magneto?
He's a DC Comics bad guy.
Dr. Polaris, are you thinking of?
Oh,
mean,
maybe
it's-
I am thinking of Dr. Polaris.
It's so weird that you would call him Dr. Magneto.
Yeah, I guess I'm just stoned.
That's about right. So anyway, in this story, they're abandoned on this island because Bublub the Glublub, which was like a psychoactive goldfish or something, he's been killed. He was murdered. He was shot by an assassin in TMNT Adventures, and his buddy Ray Fillet is mourning him, and he's sending out a homing beacon to try and convince some ship or somebody to come to the island to rescue them.
It's like, wait, he has a psychedelic goldfish friend that was murdered by an assassin. This comic ripped.
It was really cool. Like nobody was minding the fence here, and they just let them do whatever they wanted. It was great.
Yeah.
This is at the period where Raphael wasn't wearing a mask because he wanted to show that he was different from the other turtles.
So
Nice
like,
touch.
this is bizarre about April O'Neil. Here she's drawn as a super hot chick.
She is looking good.
So like when the comic first was created, the black and white version, April O'Neil was a lab assistant to Dr. Baxter Stockman making the Mousers. She was like a computer programmer or something. And she was supposed to be an Asian lady.
Whoa, no.
No, I'm telling you that. She was drawn. One of the creators, he said, like, I envisioned April O'Neil as an Asian woman, so that's how I drew her. And then the other guy who wrote it goes, I didn't think that.
There has been a dispute about that, and there's not been clarity. And it wasn't an Asian woman; it was a Hispanic woman.
So, like, when I first read that comic book as a kid, I was like, all right, that's an Asian lady.
It was never.
And then they decided to make her black.
The dispute of this was if she was like, Blasian, or not Blasian, but if she was black and or Latino, not if she was Asian. I don't think Asian
but
was
she
ever
was
part of
never
it.
like drawn as a white person, is what I'm saying.
She wasn't drawn. Yeah, you're right. She wasn't drawn as a white person, and since since the original book was in black and white, we didn't know what she was,
Right.
and she just gradually became a pretty white lady.
Yeah, well, like, when they made the cartoon, like they were like, "What is she supposed to be?" I don't know. Her name's April O'Neil, which is a super white person's name.
She had like a big frizzy perm.
Yeah,
In the books, like
they give it to her in the movie,
Yeah, good for her. Yeah, but that was like they gave her a white person perm, not
and they
like
made her a TV news reporter.
Yeah, good for her. Well, that was the best thing to be in a comic book, even though it was a movie.
Does that work better? You think?
Making her a news reporter?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what kind of stories you're trying to tell.
I'm just saying, like, let's just overall look at the Ninja Turtles, okay? Let's think about it. Like,
Sure, let's
what
take
do
a
you
step back.
What do you think is better, April O'Neil as a TV news reporter or as a robotics computer programmer lady?
I mean, it depends on the kind of stories you're going to. I would say the robotics computer lady is more unique.
I think they've made a bunch of versions of the Turtles, like on Nickelodeon over the years, and I think she's been like a teenage girl as well. Like they've changed her a lot.
Yeah, well, who cares? Like, change it, have fun. Let's do what we want to
I
do.
guess it makes sense to make her the same age as the Turtles.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird regardless, but it's a little less weird.
That's cool that they just do that. They like mix it up. Like, who cares, right?
Yeah, well, apparently some bigoted people on the internet care, but I don't care.
They got Megan Fox to play her, right?
They did get Megan Fox to play her.
That is, I'm gonna watch that movie just for that.
I remember Googling April O'Neil once with the safe search off, and that was a bad
seen
idea.
that.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are super into the feeder, not the feeder, the one where it's like you grow to obnoxious sizes because you swallowed something.
Oh, yeah. I don't
Is
know
that
what you call that.
or vor, something like that? I don't
Let's
know.
not give it dignity by calling
I'm
it.
not
we're not going to
Googling
address it.
name.
But
It's
yeah,
like-
there's a lot of art. with
See,
that.
James, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
About like doubling your money too much, right? And you're left with a weird fetish that you didn't normally have.
Yeah.
That's a great example of that. I can only get off now if it's to childhood cartoon characters who grow to enormous sizes.
Yeah, I do wish I could be that excited to see a picture of a boob again.
Like, just stick to the
That's
Sears
pretty incredible.
catalog.
Yeah.
And look
I
at
mean,
a lady in a bra.
The Sears catalog has some great lighting, and lighting, like, it makes a big difference
what I'm
in
saying?
the
Like-
quality of that image.
keep it simple, folks.
All right. We're moving on. So Ray Fillet sends out a homing signal, and it brings a pirate ship, a seemingly empty pirate ship with one of those women on the mast, like wooden women on the masts. You know, that used to be a thing back in the day. You know what I'm talking about?
Was this name really Ray Fillet?
Ray Fillet, but they also call him Man Ray a lot.
I thought
too,
he
but
was called Manta Ray.
Manta Ray. I think they call him Man Ray, Manta Ray, Ray Fillet. Man Ray being an artist, being a noted artist of the past.
His name was Ray Fillet.
Ray Fillet, and I called him Fillet.
I get it because he was like fish. I get
Yeah,
it.
he's like a fish guy. Yeah, he's a big. Yeah, I guess we didn't clarify. He's a manta ray. He's a big manta ray mutant.
He's a giant man. So was he originally a dude, or was he a
don't
manta
know.
ray that grew big?
I do not remember that. He became one of the mutanimals.
Yeah,
but I always
he
liked
did.
him because he had a dignity to him. He had a quiet dignity, and I liked
Yeah.
that guy. So they decide to go on this ship, see what's going on with this ship, and they discover a bunch of skeletons of pirates.
Yep.
Spooky.
Which one
pirates.
does? This is a good example of what later black and white Ninja Turtle comics were like, where there'd be no rhyme or reason, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden they get sucked into the dimension of like those stickers of the gross guys driving hot rods.
Yeah,
You know
they
what
were
I'm talking
just.
about? What were
they
those
just,
called?
The rat fink stickers.
Rat
Is that what you're talking
Fink,
about?
like
Yeah.
the Rat Fink guys, and like the turtles would just
boy.
be interacting with the Rat Fink
Yeah,
guys.
it was just crazy adventures.
yeah.
They
this is
were
a good example of
They
that.
were really odd. One of the ones that really freaked me out was I think it was a painted one, and in the course of it, they like went back in time, and at some point they became eggs. Like they reverted back to reptile eggs, and they were just
Yeah.
walking around as eggs. And I don't know, but something about it really made me uncomfortable. I
Dude,
don't know.
there was a black and white turtles arc where Raphael gets attacked by a leech, like a normal leech. He like goes swimming and a leech gets him, and the leech drains his mutant blood, and he turns into like a stupid turtle, and the leech gets big and starts talking.
This is great.
Okay.
I love it. These books are great. They're great
Dude,
books.
look, go back up.
Oh my god.
Look how fucking deranged Leonardo looks.
Yeah. That's why I don't like this art.
Yeah,
Look
they
at
all
that.
have very weird faces. They're freaks. They are freaks, which makes it even weirder that April's even considering fucking any of
See,
these
they
guys.
now look like how they should smell.
Yes, they are. They're not. Those aren't little scales they're covered in. That's just bits of feces.
Dude, Manta Ray can't smell good either. He's a fish
No,
in
he's
the
a
ocean.
fish man. Yeah,
Look at that. You can see his ass.
You see, I was gonna note that. I was thinking about noting that. I was like, nah, it's not worth mentioning. But yeah, you can see his
Dude,
little ass under
look
his tail.
at April O'Neil's like shorts. She rolled them suckers up even higher.
Yeah, she wanted everybody to see. Well, because the attention wasn't focused on her.
She
wanted-
decided that she's gonna look good for these animals.
It's a good thing she didn't go to the Archie world. Archie
She does
would've
it for
pulled her
herself,
in.
Mike. There, corrected myself.
Yeah, there's Shée. Yeah, Shay's
To
contribution
claim that a
in Mike's
woman
voice.
Is doing it just for the attention of men.
just
is
for her.
Sexist. Sometimes you just want to look cool. It is what
Sometimes
it
she does look
is.
cool. She does look cool. So they enter into there's the cabin's deck. It says abandon hope all you enter here, and they
Yeah.
see a bunch of skeletons, and they see a treasure chest.
Yeah, but they should be concerned that the skeletons are already standing up with their weapons.
Yes, there's even a dog there that's standing guard, a skeleton dog. So
Oh, what
you know,
a
they're
good
ready.
boy. That was the
He's a
best
very good
boy.
He just stayed there and died.
Yeah, stayed there and died.
He wanted to leave a
Completely
cool
intact
skeleton.
That's pretty.
It was very important to him to leave a cool skeleton. So he's like, I'm
And,
not moving.
Here, Raphael has a ADD-induced manic rage, and he just goes insane on this lock of a treasure chest. His his impulse control issues are like really out of control.
Right. He just starts opening this thing up while April is looking at a note that says, hey, wait a minute, there's a warning, there's a curse on this thing. Raphael's not listening to shit, and he's hoping that inside the chest there are pizza coupons because he doesn't understand currency.
What if she
Yeah.
opens it up and she goes, it just says the name of the dog.
Says he's a good boy.
What the fuck?
It's kind of not really
His
very
name is
interesting, honestly.
Chad.
Yeah,
I didn't even know they had that name back
What a
then.
Chad!
This
I
is
called
stupid.
I was working with a dude and he's like a Chad, and I called him a Chad as a compliment. I was like, "Bro, you're such a Chad," and he was just like, "Bro, don't say it to me. Don't call me that."
You don't call my people that.
I was like, "What?"
We
I
can
was
call
being- I
each
was
other
giving you a
that.
compliment. He's like, "Not where I come from. Chad's not a nice thing to say to somebody." I'm like, "You fucking kidding me?"
He's doing a work on you. That was
He's
all that
joshing me. Yeah, you know.
Josh and yeah.
But you know,
So-
but the thing is, like, you can't like double down when people like are working you, and you can't be like, "Nah, this is a work." If they act like they're really upset, like you have to let it go.
Yeah. Workplace etiquette sucks.
Yeah, you can't be starting a scene. I'll be like, "I'm telling you, he's just working me. That's all that's going on. He's not offended. This is a work." You can't do that.
I'm going to die on this hill. So the skeletons come to life as naturally they would, and they say, nah, as skeletons
yeah,
tend to
right?
do.
But they don't say shit because they don't got tongues and shit.
Nah. Well, they're able to do all kinds of other stuff they shouldn't be able to do.
How are they moving around without muscles and nerves?
I don't know, but this dog is thinking about a fire hydrant, even though he's never seen a fire hydrant. He's a pirate dog.
Guys, skeletons are fucking stupid.
I love skeletons. They're
They're-
hilarious.
James loves.
They're cool, but
skeletons.
like, how are they moving around?
I mean, it's magic. It's magic powers.
What is that's vague.
Yeah. Again, these are the kind of adventures they get into. And so, you know, they get into a fight. Man Ray rips a bone off and tries to give it to the dog, like trick the dog to go after the bone. You know?
Yeah, that's his idea. He can clearly rip the skeletons apart
just
because
keep
like
ripping 'em.
Ray Fillet is huge.
There aren't that many. There's like 10 of them.
He's like super big, and he rips a skeleton in half. He goes, "I know this will distract the super small dog."
Giant bone.
Why doesn't he just step on the dog?
Or all the other skeletons.
Why doesn't the dog look at himself and try to eat himself?
Oh, yeah. Look down. Yeah, well, he's got bad peripheral vision, so he doesn't know that he has a body.
I wouldn't mind putting my own bone in my mouth.
Yeah. I've hurt my back a couple times, too. I know what you're talking about.
So like, notice how like the turtles before this happened, they were acting like really bizarre and freaky looking, while Ray Fillet was very stoic. And now that violence has arrived, Man Ray has now become deranged.
It's like when you work with somebody who's really laid back and quiet, and then you like see their Instagram and they're a fucking maniac.
Yeah, I met
Like
a
those
guy
people exist.
who, if this guy listens, he knows who I'm talking about. But like, he was just this normal cat, totally like normal square looking dude. And then like we were drunk in a car, or maybe I was told this. I can't remember if it actually happened to me or like if somebody told this to me. But apparently, like he has a giant like tree tattoo on his back. And I asked him about it later. I'm like, bro, what's up with that? He goes, I don't know. It's pretty cool. And then I found out he's this wild character in his life.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know. You never know with people.
Can't judge a book by its cover.
No, you really
Nope.
can't. Except this book. It was a stupid cover. It was a stupid book.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
won me over so far. We got Ghost Pirates. We got
Is this your
Archie.
new favorite?
Archie getting threesomes with girls in high
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, but
Holy shit.
It's
And we're not
implied
even
threesomes.
through the first 2 stories. We got 2 more
Yeah.
after this.
The
Well, in
restaurant
fairness, this
let
is
the
most of
turtles
it.
in, but wouldn't let that black guy in.
Ah, that's
He
a
was-
shame.
They
like,
let
come
him
on.
in.
That's how racist he was.
he only-
he let green
yeah.
turtles from another dimension in.
He barely got in. And in fairness, in that last scene in the shop at the end of the comic, that black kid isn't there.
You know what? He barely let them in because they all have Italian names, and he's that racist.
Wow, that's awful.
And he's just like,
care
what are you
for
guys, Italian? I don't know. Like,
I don't
come
care for
on.
it.
They saved Veronica. Like, all
Nope.
right.
I accept anybody as long as they have money. That's all I care
Except
about.
This. I'm Pops, the racist restaurant owner.
So anyway, the fight continues, right? So as the fight goes on, the turtles are not doing great at this, which is odd because Man Ray could just stomp them all. I don't know
Yeah.
why this is even an issue. I
Yeah,
guess
why
he
is
feels
any of this a problem?
I think he feels that he needs to destroy each one in a unique way.
Now it's like Zelda, where the fucking skeletons come at you at night and you smash them, but they come back together if you don't smash their head quick enough.
It was night the skeletons came to life for sure.
Yeah, that's a popular game right now.
So Man Ray and April fall into the water and they see the woman, the wooden carving of the woman on the mast of the ship,
Yeah.
and they realize, oh, that's what the curse we read said, like we have to free her and what is it, put her in the sands of time or something like that, and that'll break the curse.
It's like she lands in the water, right, and she turns to the turtle and goes, guys, just jump off the boat.
Just leave.
Just leave. Like, it turns out that you can just get off the boat and leave.
The fight continues. Skeleton accidentally cuts the masthead woman loose and she falls into the water. So Ray Fillet and April O'Neil, they take her onto the beach. They start burying her in the sand.
Can you
Of
imagine?
time.
Signs the sands of time.
Can you imagine the skeleton pirate when he accidentally chops the lady off the boat? Can you imagine the oh shit gasp he had in his deep in his stomach, knowing he fucked up that bad that he's about to cease to exist?
I just assumed it was more like electric impulses and muscle and not actual brains going.
He's just like, oh no! You know, when you really fuck up, you guys know what I'm talking about, that feeling where you just made a huge mistake.
You don't feel that most of the time? That's not most of
Dude.
your life?
No, it's only like every once in a while I get that.
Oh,
where it's
God.
Just like, oh no.
I thought that was just default feeling for people.
So
I
like
didn't
growing
realize.
up, like that's how it was with my parents. Like if I spilled something, like a glass of water on the carpet, water, like they would just
It's not a
lose
big
their
deal.
minds.
You know
So-
what? Yeah.
So now, because my parents did that to me, I get revenge on them now by whenever I'm over there for dinner, I'll pretend that I'm about to drop my fork and go, and they'll both like get startled.
You know, now that you're mentioning that, I do remember like little things, like touching the wall accidentally. Like if you might maybe chip the wall or something, like it was a huge fucking deal.
Like you put the remote on the table down too hard, and like,
And
you
yeah.
might have scuffed it.
Oh, my father would yell at me if I sat on the edge of my bed
How
because it's
about-
going to ruin the mattress.
How about if you're vacuuming and you accidentally, when you're trying to get the corners, you hit the wall a little bit?
Oh, yeah. You can't hit that wainscoting.
Dude, people used to give so much of a shit about their stuff.
And now it's so easy. Like, there's so many easy ways to repair things. There always were. Like, this was
Who
never.
fucking cares.
None of this was a big deal.
Dude,
none of
like
this was a big
my
deal.
landlord sent some guys to like fix the exhaust to my my dryer, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they go all the way up to the roof, and in order to reattach the pipe, they just ripped apart the ceiling in my
Mm-hmm.
little laundry room, and then they go, "Someone will be by to fix this," and it's like a huge dangly hole. It's hilarious. and no one came. It never happened. So all I do is like, I just renewed my lease, and they wanted to raise it by $100 for 1 year, and I was like, well, fuck that.
Pretty reasonable.
So I just take a photo of that.
Yeah.
And I just send it to them. I send them to that, and I wrote them like, hey, remember when it took you a year to stop the roof from leaking? Remember that?
Yeah.
And remember when you just brought this guy over who destroyed my ceiling just now and nothing came of it? Like, give me a 2-year lease and you're not raising my rent. How about that? And they accepted it. 'Cause they're like, yeah, I guess that's fucked up.
Shady landlords.
Hey, I got a good apartment for 2 more years without a rent increase.
All right. We're gonna get through this. So they bury the wooden lady, and all the skeletons die, and then the ship falls apart for some reason.
Yeah, right. They destroyed their whole existence.
Yeah, that somehow works.
And look how insane the turtles look.
Well, they're pulling their heads into their shells.
Dude, they're totally like, they're the turtles from the new movie, with the Michael Bay
Yeah.
movie.
It's also interesting. Like they're stuck on an island, but like everybody but April can swim. So
What if this was just Michael Bay's favorite Turtles artist?
and he built his entire franchise idea around this.
Yeah, what if he saw this and was like, I'm going to make him like this, just grotesquely huge. Look at Manta Ray now that his bloodlust has been sustained. Look how happy he
Yeah,
is
look at
now.
his. Yeah, sharpened his teeth.
Look
yeah.
how evil he is. I wouldn't trust him around April
That
when
guy's a
everyone goes
beast.
to sleep.
Yeah. He's gonna squeeze a rabbit's head off for sure.
So they managed to keep the treasure chest. What's in it? Besides the ghost farts.
I don't know. Yeah,
Michelangelo?
yeah. They
was
put
in
no.
it?
They put Raphael in there.
Raphael,
In there?
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they put him in there? Why?
They threw to punish
he's
him.
the
They
one
threw
that
away all that
opened it?
gold. Yeah.
Oh, I
Because
couldn't
he's an
tell
asshole.
which one was being psychotic.
He's the one. He's the only one not wearing a mask. He's the only
I-
one that doesn't look like the other ones.
Oh, yeah, all right.
All right. Anyway, so then we got two more stories, kind of. This is called Storm Drain Savers, written by Stefan Murphy. There's actually a typo in the credits page. It says Stefan Murphy.
Maybe they
Pencils,
were just ribbing him.
pencils by Jim Lawson. Inks by Peter Laird, Dan Berger, Michael Dooney, Steve Levine, and Eric Talbot. This is 4 pages.
So, like, when Peter Laird kind of found his vibe of drawing the turtles for this comic in particular, and kind of in the black and white ones, he picked up this style, and this was always my favorite.
It's cartoony, but it's got a lot of deep shading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the shading makes it.
Yeah.
Like, there is like this style, he has a gritty version of it for the black
Yeah.
and white, but it's the same basic idea.
Yeah, it's kind of midway between the TMNT adventures and the like original Mirage comics that were super gritty. It's kind of halfway between.
I'm saying this stuff out loud, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm giving myself like work to do for this YouTube.
Yeah, that's fun.
Like, now I gotta go
Well,
look for this shit.
It's notable that this was just a mini comic that they put. They donated to something called the Santa Monica Bay Restoration Project as part of an Earth Day celebration, and then that was in black and white at the time. So they went through, they colored it, they threw it in this book for some random fucking reason to pad it out, and it's just a simple. Little 4-page story about the turtles telling you not to throw your shit in the ocean. Literally,
They're
Yeah.
like,
and
hey, your
figuratively.
garbage is getting in our shit-covered home.
Lootin' and pollutin' is not the way.
Yeah, and right at the beginning, I think it's Raphael. Yeah, it's Raphael. He looks at us, he breaks the fourth wall, and he says, "Yo, dudes and dudettes, yo, broccoli man."
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Who's broccoli man? What is that
know.
about?
I mean-
I love broccoli.
Yeah, maybe
but
he's talking to you.
he might have been talking to me, talking to 8-year-old me who was not into broccoli at the time. So I don't really understand.
He knew 30 years later
Oh,
you'd
he was
be a
talking to-
man.
So when he was
got
when
you
he was,
there.
So when he met up with Jughead in the Archie comic book, he found out about how I would turn out in the future.
Yeah,
from
when
Jughead's time traveling adventures.
and one of the turtles was sticking his one of his 3 fingers in Archie's descendant. Gross.
It was pretty gross.
So here the turtles are mad because people are going to the bathroom in their toilets and flushing the toilets, and it's going into their home.
It's a good reason to be angry.
They're like, hey, so how do sewers actually work? It's just so that there's
don't know.
rain runoff has a place to go, correct?
I guess that's kind of generally how
And
I know.
and so you can access utilities as well, correct?
I guess
Poop
I mean,
doesn't
I don't,
actually go into the sewer, does it?
I don't know. I've never researched that.
So like poop should usually goes to like a treatment plant, where they like deal with that stuff.
Can you imagine having to figure out how the sewer system and plumbing is going to, like when they were originally conceiving it?
Right. It's already like gone past like 50 years of how
So
long
complicated.
it was built to last.
Oh, so
Like,
complicated.
all this was supposed to be like replaced, and it never was.
What
Yeah.
city was this out of again?
New York.
New...
The Ninja Turtles?
No. This don't pollute.
Oh, this
ad.
was in Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
So, yeah, so, you know, hippies.
Yeah, so
Granola boys.
Don't pollute. Like they're living in poop.
Yeah. Yep.
Like move out of the sewer, maybe.
Well, what are they going to do? They don't have jobs. They can't make any money.
They can move into abandoned train yards.
Yes. Yeah, well, eventually they did.
Like, but you imagine how stupid they must have felt in Turtles 2, where they found that and they're like, God damn it, we've been living in
This
that
was here the whole
fucking
time?
They turned to Splinter. Like, did you even look around before
Yeah.
you like settled in that
No, I was
fucking
fine with it.
drain pipe you made us
Hey,
grow up in?
hey, you assholes, I'm a rat. I don't care.
Can you imagine like some utility worker just stumbling upon their house and he's just like, oh shit. They stop what they're doing and they just look at him.
So this is where the Ninja Turtles hung out?
He goes, hey, you guys can't be living down here. He's more concerned about code violations.
Like, you guys are definitely very, very ill.
He's like, listen, this is
All
not
of
a
you
good-
guys-
There's fumes down here.
You all have hepatitis. Like, this is bad. You can't be living down here. Sepsis.
Here we learn that your bathroom water goes to where the dolphins are.
Yep. And yeah, so it goes straight out of the Ninja Turtles house, and then some dolphins swim and play in it.
That's some silly shit.
Yep.
I can see
So-
why they gave this away.
The message is you got to recycle this comic printed on non-recycled paper. Next. So we wrap
Oh,
this
yes,
whole...
it was. It was.
I
must
doubt
have been
it was.
It must have been recycled.
1991? I don't think we were recycling
I think
yet.
people were recycling back then for a little bit.
Yeah? Are they cycling?
Yeah.
Then we wrap this up with the final story. Thank
Which is
God.
what it ends in such a fucking.
I love it.
So here, April's back at work, despite the fact she was just on an island being attacked by skeletons.
It's called Origin of the Species, written by, or just as plot by Ryan Brown, script by Doug Bremer, pencils by Dave Garcia, inks by S.R. Bissett. It's a murderer's row of people I've never heard of working on this book.
I guess they just weren't busy.
Yeah, just
They're
something
like,
to
what
do.
do we got going on? Wow, we got Archie meets Ninja Turtles, and that's it.
We need to fill. We said it was gonna be 64 pages. It turned out to only be 20 pages. We got to pad this motherfucker.
It's like when a company like books a shit ton of people, and like the two main jobs get canceled, and everyone's mad they're not working, so they all get put on this one little show.
Fucking nobody outside of your niche industry has any idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys
such
have
a
people
weird
that
thing.
listen, so they're like, yeah, I get
No,
it.
people from all
whatever.
walks of life listen to this show. It's very popular. So
Only
anyway,
industry transients listen to this show.
so April O'Neil, yeah, she's on the news. She's talking about a ship that went down, and I guess the ship had a frozen caveman on it. And Shredder, along with Bebop and Rocksteady, have absconded with that caveman.
Shredder's just like, he's just thinking, he's like watching the TV of April because he's a fan, and he's just like, I can't afford this place. And he gets up and leaves.
You know, I was thinking about that. Like, how is Shredder affording these things?
Where is that? Like in the original Ninja Turtles comic, Shredder was just like a gang leader who was extorting companies. He's like, if you don't pay for my insurance, my ninjas are going to burn your warehouse down.
And then next thing you know, he can afford a Technodrome. You remember the
Like-
Technodrome?
Yeah, the
I-
Technodrome.
I had the toy. I had the actual Technodrome
Well, he didn't
playset.
afford that. Krang
Krang?
did, right?
Krang doesn't have a
he-
job either.
I mean,
He's the literal brains of the operation.
but
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of times the smartest people, it's like the people that were very gifted in high school and then they just didn't do anything with their lives. That's Krang.
What's up?
Oh,
That's
sort of
me.
too. Yeah. As long as
Shotguns in the air.
as long as I was on my ADD meds, I was getting straight A's. Surprise.
I mean, no, it's not. Nobody on this show is dumb. Like it's a show of intelligent people who just never did anything.
Bro, it turns out I could have like gone to school with a scholarship if I just applied to schools.
Yeah.
No one told me to do that.
I didn't. I was in. So it took me quite a few years to finish college, not because I couldn't, just because I didn't know what to do. I didn't really even know the process of finishing college. I didn't understand that when you pick your courses, the 100, 200, 300, 400 in front of the course names, that's the level of difficulty it is. That's what level you're supposed to be at. I just thought they were arbitrary names. So I was taking random courses that were like senior level courses as like a sophomore that I didn't have to take at all, just because they looked interesting, and I had no idea that they were advanced.
Yeah, you're supposed to go talk to a guidance counselor.
I talked to a guidance counselor after like 5 years and finally went, I think I'm supposed to be like having some kind of direction. Like everybody should have, if you're going to go to college, like you should have to have a meeting with a guidance counselor. I'm not saying
don't bother now. AI is going to do everything.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying everybody should go to college. I mean, there's other paths.
Now.
Well, doctors, there's a few people I would like to have.
I mean, the doctors are going on WebMD.
They are not. The doctors are not. Don't start this rumor.
Yeah, they are. Guess what? That's better. They can't remember everything. WebMD will have it all.
I don't know, man. Doctors are geniuses, every single one.
I don't know about that, dude.
So anyway, so it turns out, Bebop and Rocksteady, who are a Rhino Man and a Warthog Man, they have the Iceman.
They're surprisingly
Iceman.
They're surprisingly cool about their existence.
Well, because they're dumb. Like
nothing about it should feel good.
I think you have to have a certain level of intelligence and self-awareness to really be dissatisfied with your station in life.
So in this comic book, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures, eventually Bebop and Rocksteady steal a spaceship, go to a planet where it's just like African grazing animals, and they strip down naked and just go live among them.
I think I remember this.
That's their ending.
Yeah, I think I remember, and they were gone for a while. It was nice. It was cool.
They were gone forever. They never came back.
I might have to go reread those. They were really fun.
They just like, this is what they're just like, you know what? What are we doing?
They're simple-minded creatures.
I mean, but that's pretty based. They fucked off.
Yeah, they were just done. I mean, I think honestly, probably they were like, dude, do we need these characters? Do they serve any function in our story? No, then they can go.
If they were people before being turned into animals, like being turned into an animal and they could just go somewhere and not have to pay to live, like this was a gift.
There was a Doug Moench, Kelly Jones Batman storyline in the 90s where Killer Croc goes to live in the swamp with Swamp Thing. And Swamp Thing's like, yeah, you can just hang out here. Like, it's done. You don't have to be part of anything anymore. And Batman shows up and says, no, I actually have to take him back to Gotham. And Swamp Thing goes, no, he's a crocodile. Like, just let him live here. And that should have been like the end of Killer Croc.
The end.
Just let him be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that would have been a great ending. Anyway, Shredder has, I think, a massive inferiority complex because he's constantly talking about how smart he is, but then he fucks everything up and he beats himself up about it.
How about this weird thing? He's wearing blue spandex that would show off his dick, and he's not proud of his dick, so he puts a loincloth in front of it so we don't see it.
A little cape in front of his dick.
Maybe he's modest.
His dick is, maybe it's huge, and he's just like, this is going to be really distracting with people. Like, so let's cover it up with a huge dick curtain.
Give me a bigger curtain, Bebop. This curtain's not going to hide it well enough.
Dude, look at that thing. That's like, or maybe he just wants us to think it's huge by getting a big curtain.
I tell you another thing. He must be poking himself all the time with those hooks.
Right?
Like, God, he's covered in spikes.
I guess he's more Hook Man, isn't he? He does like it's all hooks.
He's not really shredding anything, and if anything, he would just cut it. He wouldn't really shred anything.
I mean, if you're like a ninja and you're a hand-to-hand fighting expert, I guess that makes a lot of sense.
But why would you just walk? Maybe during a fight, when you're battling, you're teching up for a battle. Maybe you put that stuff on, but the rest of the time, you don't walk around with that shit.
Nah, he took a lot of time making it.
Yeah, he wants everyone to know.
The cape seems like it's not going to help him be very ninja-like.
So Shredder has decided he's abducted this Iceman and he is gonna bombard it with the most potent mutagen ever, and then he's gonna sick him on the turtles who he hates for some reason.
Yeah, but he already has 2 mutants, and that didn't work out. Why does he think this one guy's gonna do it? Dumb.
Yeah, let's see what happens. It's Bebop. Bebop's glasses don't really fit on his head right. Look at this. They're kind of floating behind his ear.
He's played by Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He does. He has the visor shades.
Yeah.
Nice. The Kanye West shades. So the mutagen starts going haywire. The tube explodes. and the caveman has merged with, I guess it was like a mastodon loincloth he was wearing.
Yeah. So he gets turned into one.
If the mutagen combines you with something else, and this was an accident, Shredder didn't mean to do this, what was he trying to merge the guy with?
I don't know. It's like it's
not
poorly
clear.
written.
Yeah.
It's not clear. So this goes haywire.
I mean,
and
hey, why in Ninja Turtles 2 does Shredder get exposed to mutagen and turns into Kevin Nash?
he just turns into a bigger version of Shredder.
Yeah, right?
Which, by the way, I had the Super Shredder toy, and that toy was badass.
Yeah.
That was a really cool
Yeah,
toy.
it made his
for-
costume bigger. How does that mutagen work?
It was. I'm not gonna say it wasn't a completely stupid move, but man, what a
movie
cool
sucked.
character! What a cool
sometimes,
character!
Sometimes a cool character supersedes,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, as long as
sometimes
it's
something's
cool
rad.
enough.
Like, all right, yeah, but it's rad.
Well, I was 8 years old, so yeah, I thought it was fucking rad as shit.
There's a lot of characters like that, like dumb, but whatever. Look
Yeah,
how rad that is.
Fine, I don't care.
It's called Everyone in Image at the time.
That's Pit. So anyway, the monster keeps growing to bigger and bigger sizes. He's 20 feet tall and growing, and Shredder is, as I said before, he's beating himself up because he thinks he's failed this whole thing.
Yeah, he did.
So,
Well, I mean, he did.
He kind of did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
did,
kind of
yeah.
did. So then we see the Ninja Turtles. We see Leonardo is building a snowman, and his brothers want to wreck it for him.
And here we remember that they're cold-blooded and they die.
Yep.
Yes, they can't handle this.
I guess maybe the mutagen in their human parts
They've got
fix
some,
that.
human DNA helping them out there. So,
Oh, by the way, everything I said earlier about why the turtles are human-like, I made all that up.
well, shit.
I actually have no idea if that's true.
All right. All right, well.
It just made sense at the time.
So for like the last 35 minutes, there's been some really enraged turtle fans listening
I
to this.
mean, they don't know either. It would
Well,
make the most
actually-
sense. It would make the most sense though. Why did this guy turn into a mastodon if he wasn't wearing a mastodon?
They don't combine DNA.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens with the mutagen. I don't know, man.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's just
But
say
I
that's
was
what
I was
happens.
guesstimating, and I forgot that I was going to tell you all later that I was lying, and then it just recurred to me, or like later on in the show, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember the thing you said, Mike, earlier. You better tell them that was a huge lie."
That was a huge, colossal lie. So the dude shows up. The giant monster man shows up by sheer coincidence. He shows up where the Ninja Turtles are. Why?
Hey,
it's
by
never
sheer
explained.
coincidence, the turtles ran into a ghost pirate ship. Like, there's a lot of shit that goes on.
Well, and also 2 seconds ago they were in a snowy field, and now they're on a street. He's grown to 50 feet tall. He's also got a giant like wrench.
Yeah.
Which I don't know where he got that giant wrench that
Going to work.
scales with him. Yeah, he's just working at some sort of construction firm for giants, I guess.
Yeah.
So they get in a fight, and Michelangelo becomes very sympathetic, and he thinks the dude's just hurt, and he's not actually trying to attack him. But his brothers don't give a shit about that because they're
Yeah, they're like,
bloodthirsty.
stab his feet.
Just fucking kill it.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to know about this mutagen bullshit. Mm-hmm. And what I've really learned is that the ooze is alien breast milk.
Yeah.
It's alien breast milk. Oh, is it from the planet of the Krangs?
Yeah.
Well, they're not Krangs.
Nice.
They're the Utrons.
I know, but I couldn't remember the original name.
It's
You
from
knew
the
what I was
glands
talking
of the
about.
Krethatogrons.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Krang
good.
milk them to receive the mutagen.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Super weird.
Holy
The-
shit, Mike, you're
mel-
right.
Milking
What?
fetish.
So far, it has been established that after hit with the ooze, the being, whether it be a human or animal, gets its DNA mixed with the last living things it's touched.
God
That
damn
makes
it.
sense.
Holy shit, Mike.
well-
you stumbled into the
Well,
actual...
probably already knew.
could've been
and
a
I
buried
just half
memory.
remembered. Yeah.
No, let's just pretend that Mike made it up himself and was right.
All right, whatever.
Good job, Mike.
I don't care. I got no skin in the game.
Well, what else would it be?
I don't know. I see you say as you take a hit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah, I
saying?
always
It's
hear
like
that.
that's the most logical thing.
All right.
I just deduced it. Because
okay.
when I was in high school, I got A's because I was taking drugs.
The higher Mike gets, the longer the episodes go. That's how if you just sort the episodes by length, you'll know which ones Mike was super high for.
Hey, you listeners still have to guess which ones I was taking acid for.
Yeah, get in the game here, folks.
I've already had a few people tell me that they're going to be dedicated and find out. Well, you still haven't guessed it.
Yep. So anyway, Mikey says, yeah, don't hurt the guy, whatever. Before they can reach any consensus about what they're going to do with this guy, Bebop and Rocksteady show up in their floating Chevy or whatever.
Yeah,
the fuck
they have a fucking they got a hot rod car.
They have
Yeah.
a hot rod car with no wheels that just
You
flies.
know, I vaguely remember
I think it was a
in
toy.
the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon show. In
The people from the future visited that
yeah,
car.
like they had their own little
Yep.
thing with like They're like the forever people.
Yeah,
they probably
I
stole the
remember the
technology.
exact thing that you're talking about. I bet it was on one of those Jose Menendez tapes.
Like whenever we would whenever I look at Jack Kirby stuff and I would see the forever people, it would remind me of the future kids from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice.
Damn it! Now I gotta show that too. So much fucking work.
Anyway, they drive around the car. They hit this mastodon man. They knock him into the water, and he's drowning. And the Ninja Turtles try to save him. They've had a change of heart.
He weighs too much.
Well, he must weigh thousands and thousands of pounds.
Yeah, he is giant.
The turtles body shame him till he drowns for being too big.
It's a potent metaphor about body shaming.
And here Bebop and Roxy are dancing a joyous dance because they killed the monster.
They killed an innocent monster. The monster says goodbye as he's dying, which convinces the turtles that he was a good guy.
And how would he speak English, though?
Well, he heard other people saying it.
But then how does a rat know ninjutsu because he watches master practice it?
Yeah, let it go. Let some of the shit go. You're just
I think in the cartoon they switched it where he was a guy who turns into a rat because they're like, wait, he's a rat who gets turned into a guy and he knows he's not a fight. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Because he had a rivalry with Shredder. Like,
do you remember in the original movie where like the rat is practicing kung fu in his cage?
Yes.
That movie's so good.
Right. This is the last panel. Bebop and Rocksteady are saying, we stopped the monster, and they fly away, and then the Ninja Turtles are looking morose, and they say, yeah, he's dead, but who's the monster here? Who is the monster? And I probably thought that was super deep as a kid.
Yeah, probably.
I thought that was really, really great.
Yeah, well, probably the two guys in the back who killed the guy.
So that's how the book ends. Yeah. We did it. Mm-hmm. Holy cow.
Here we have an ad telling you to do drugs.
Yeah, we got an ad that says,
they're uncool.
Drugs aren't cool. You don't need drugs to be popular, enjoy music, or feel great. But it helps. But it helps. You don't need it, but it helps.
Sometimes, yeah. I don't like to fuck on drugs personally.
Yeah. Like on top of them? Like physically on top of a bed of cocaine?
Jeez. And my first thought is like, style. That's too expensive. That was my first thought.
That would be, you'd really have to cut it with a lot of baking powder to justify.
Dude, I'm just going to not get in that situation, sir.
Yeah.
I just found out that drugs are uncool.
You haven't raised your sexual tolerance to the point where you need to fuck on top of illicit substances.
You would say like, you don't need drugs to enjoy music. Like sometimes when you like sober, you don't realize that the music you're listening to is bunk as shit.
We're going to wrap this up. What do we think of this comic?
I liked it. It reminded me of how much I liked the Ninja Turtles comic book.
Shée, what did you think of this comic book?
Comic book was 64 pages of nothing.
Yeah. It was that. There were ghost pirates, though.
I did like the skeleton pirates. They were my favorite part. They did raise the rating, but it was still pretty shitty. 2 out of 5 cackling skeleton pirates. There you go.
Dude, like in this like uncool ad here about drugs,
Jesus Christ.
Archie looks like he's with a group of people.
It makes me want to do drugs.
It looks like he's
I don't want to be associated with him.
It looks like he's persecuting people who are using drugs. Like he finds an old lady.
He's giving the Roman thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, death.
All of these people are death.
Death to this drug user. There's some grandma with like smoking weed for her fucking cataracts, and Archie finds out and brings
zero
a
tolerance
mob of people to attack her in an alley.
Zero.
It was
tolerance.
Actually the Roman thing was actually the other way around. Thumbs down meant you got to live.
I know.
Yeah,
I knew you were gonna say that.
I thought those like to the side.
I don't know. I put it to the side like holding a gun in a John Woo movie.
You know what though? Like none of that shit was real. Turns out.
Nothing's
Rome
real.
didn't exist.
Everything's fake.
Like
Rome wasn't real. Yeah.
No, the gladiator shit. Turns out like that was like pro wrestling. Like no one got killed.
Yeah, but they often did it naked, and so you'd see a lot of dong and butthole.
Sweet.
Yeah, pretty nice.
You're selling this to me, dude. I was thinking about now how much better pro wrestling would be if I could see dong and butthole.
Sometimes you can. Sometimes they pop out a little bit.
You know, back in the Roman times when they would have pro wrestling gladiator fights, Abraham Lincoln invented the choke slam.
That's actually true. We discovered that a couple episodes ago. Abraham Lincoln invented the choke slam.
Yeah, dude, he choke slammed some motherfucker.
I thought it wasn't he didn't invent it, but like he helped popularize it or something.
He kind of popularized wrestling, I suppose, but he invented the choke slam.
No, he was a 7-foot tall man who grabbed a guy by the throat and choke slammed him.
You know, currency would be a lot cooler if the picture wasn't just of his stupid face, but it was actually of him choke slamming a bitch.
Where's that statue of Lincoln?
It might be somewhere. Let's see. Lincoln wrestling statue. Let's see if maybe there's a statue somewhere.
Nah,
No,
pussies. There's
nobody's
that
been
racist
cool.
one with the slave begging at his feet.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
there's that one in Boston. It's in
That is-
Boston. No surprise.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
for real,
he's like
dude.
he's like thanking Abraham Lincoln, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's rough.
Jesus.
That's rough. I get with like that. Well, the guy who made it was probably thinking like, "This is gonna be really powerful."
Yeah, heart was in the right place, but somebody had to stop
Sure.
this.
What if his heart wasn't in the right place? Like he was constricted to make this. Constricted was the word I'm looking for.
Contracted.
No. What
Conscripted.
conscripted to do this, and he was just like, okay, I'll make something, but he's just like, I'm gonna make this racist as shit.
And also in the statue, Abraham Lincoln is wearing like the coat that like a mad lab professor would wear. What is this fucking coat?
I bet you there's a lot of like Freemason symbolism in this statue.
Yeah, I'm sure. Freemasonry, the only thing that is real.
You know, if I was in a group of people that like made shit, I'd put secret shit in it.
You
too.
are in a group of people that make shit and we put stuff in it all the time. It's called Dark Side's Couch.
You guys draw penises on all of the stuff that you move too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will sometimes draw penises in the dust of equipment. Yeah, it's fun.
Hey,
See
what?
how long it stays there.
Based off of how the mutagen works, what would you guys turn into?
Well, just like with the Visionaries, I guess another similarity with the last episode. This is really a two-parter, actually, it turns out, between the Visionaries and the Ninja Turtles book. I would turn into a tardigrade or the immortal jellyfish.
No, mutagen, James. So whatever you touch last.
Yeah, whatever you touch. But
Oh,
he's right though. We'd
not
all
what I
turn
want.
into we'd all turn into tardigrades.
You turn into the mites on your body. You turn
Yeah,
into the
wouldn't we
gross
all
mites.
just turn into that?
Oh God!
Yeah, I don't want.
Nobody thought about that, did they? You didn't think about that.
Let's
did you,
pretend
people?
that. Okay, let's go by the logic of the comic book, though.
It'd be my cat.
All right, so James would be a cat man. Shea, what'd you be?
The
Bunny.
last living thing that I touched was James.
All right, you turn into James. Cool.
Well, no, she'd be.
What would I
yeah,
turn
but
into?
if she turned into it after I had already transformed, she would be a third me, a third her, and a third cat.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Or maybe 25% cat, 25% me, 50% Shea. Yeah.
What if? So I'd have to know. So if I like shook hands with someone or gave someone a fist bump, I'd have to ask what animal they had touched last.
Well, you wouldn't have to ask. You'd
No,
find
they
out the
would
hard
already
way.
have to be mutated for
Okay.
it to affect you.
Post-
So,
Mutation.
but what if I can't remember the last time I touched an animal?
Well, then it's gonna be a fucking surprise, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it would be a surprise.
That'd be a fun game show.
Yeah, what
you have to
mutant
guess-
are you?
guess what you're gonna turn
Yeah.
into.
Oh,
What if
man.
people would just show up and they would touch something cool beforehand?
Shit, yeah. Lobster, octopus, all kinds of cool things you could be.
All right, what if you could choose? Oh, you already said tardigrade. All right, yeah.
Tardigrade or the
Tardigrade
immortal octopus.
wins.
Tardigrade or the immortal octopus. I really like foxes as well, but foxes aren't,
You
they're
keep
not that
saying the
resilient.
immortal octopus. Do you mean the immortal jellyfish?
Immortal jellyfish. Yeah, yeah, that's
We
what I
don't
meant.
know if the octopuses are immortal though.
There might be some immortal octopus. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
we
weird
don't
shit
know.
going on under the water.
Yeah, the ocean's deep.
It's fucking crazy.
Uh-huh.
The ocean's as deep as the end of that last comic who figured out who was the monster.
Yeah, I really wish I saw this drugs aren't cool thing before I got stoned as fuck
It
for this podcast.
would have changed your life so
Mike,
much.
go watch Cartoon All Stars to the Rescue.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm thinking of playing that on Twitch when I
You
do the
should.
Twitch for this.
Go watch Michelangelo tell you that pot's bad because yeah, he'd do that.
Oh, you know what? The Twitch stream for this comic book is my birthday. So like, come hang out and we're gonna show like Ninja Turtles and Archie shit. I guess I haven't
Yeah.
thought about it.
How about the wheel to the rescue? Jesus.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's listen to some spinning music. Let's go.
Spin, 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 spin.
Spin. Soothing my jangled nerves. That's Kodak Black spin.
I thought there was that guy from before. That
It's not
SoundCloud guy.
Rolex. It's not Rolex and his song Spin, even though it's kind of exactly the same.
It's exactly the fucking same. I thought you were just playing it again just to like
Nope.
work us.
Nope. I tried very hard not to repeat the spin songs. I don't think I've ever done it. However, it is hard to find more, so make your own spinning songs and send them to us.
Yeah, send us some spinning music. Did you find this guy on SoundCloud too?
No, I don't remember how I found this. This is actually this is a legit guy. First of all, it wasn't SoundCloud, you 1,000-year-old man. It was Spotify.
All guys are legit.
Well, this is even more legit because this guy has a substantial amount of followers. This is like a known dude, Kodak Black. All right. He's going to be even bigger now after this podcast.
Oh yeah, right.
So let's
that
see what we
rub.
got here. 29 brilliant items, each one more brilliant than the last. Let's spin that wheel. Let's see what we're looking at next time.
What are we looking at here?
Could be anything. I mean, I guess it could be 29 things. Oh, no. Oh!
Finally!
I've wanted to do this one for a long time. So,
Finally!
we are doing the Billy Ray Cyrus comic book. Shit, yeah. Let me see if I can pull up the cover of it. Let me see. I know it's in here somewhere. Billy Ray Cyrus. This was a comic book I found like last year. I'm sure it's been mocked relentlessly, but I haven't seen it.
It's been requested twice.
Has it been requested? Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's been requested two different times.
Is it technically on the... Okay, it's been requested by... I don't know. Request from Old Comics on Twitter,
yeah, Old
I believe.
Comics. Someone else
Thank
too.
you.
Someone else too. I don't
Who
remember.
else did it? Yeah, well, let us know and we'll thank you. But yeah, this is awesome. This is from 1995. It's a Billy Ray Cyrus one-shot. Let's look at the cover here. Oh my goodness.
Yes, that's so good.
Yes.
So Billy Ray Cyrus doing the Rob Liefeld Captain America
I was
pose.
just about to say
Yep.
he's got like his head's proportional though, so it's not quite full Liefeld.
Right, but he's got his full-on mullet. He's got now. A lot of times, people would say any sort of haircut that was kind of long in the back and kind of short on the top was a mullet, and
This is the real
This
one.
This is a
real-
real mullet.
This is
Dude,
a
look at the
genuine mullet.
resources they put into this.
This is painted. It looks nice. They've got Paul Newman to write it.
Did
It's
they
not,
just-
not that Paul Newman, but
They were just like, guys, we got the rights to Billy Ray Cyrus. Dicky Pricky Hurt guy? They go, the very same. we have given permission to make a comic book about him. And they were like, oh my god.
I really hope he
Someone-
saves the world with line dancing.
Like all of a sudden, Spider-Man loses all of his lines. Like they're just gone.
yeah, all the line budget went entirely to Billy Ray
Yeah,
Cyrus's mullet.
They took all Spider-Man's lines and they like used that money to paint Billy Ray Cyrus.
the fantastic mane of hair that's flowing down.
Here
his
we
back
got
of
Billy
his
Ray
neck. Jesus.
Cyrus. Like there's like a drawing of an Indian chief and then a
Native American chief.
comically.
An indigenous person chief.
Oh right.
And then then some sort of like horribly offensive Asian stereotype man in a suit of armor.
No, he's supposed to be like a bloody peasant guy.
All right, like an old English.
Yeah, he's got
knight.
he's got a shaved head and a giant mustache. That is for sure.
So
like some guy who hates poor people in England.
So is he time traveling? What? Oh my God! I don't know
we'll
what
find
happens
out.
in this book.
We'll
I'm
find
very
out.
excited. I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, that's gonna be next time. We're gonna watch. We're gonna read the Billy Ray Cyrus special from Marvel Comics in 1995. Marvel
Yeah.
Music. It's actually labeled as. So maybe they did a bunch of these
Yeah.
with other artists. Maybe there's a Travis Tritt one we can read.
Dude, the more country music comic books we can do, the better.
We should probably do a second spin-off podcast of just country music comic books.
Yeah, only. Right? What should we call it?
I mean, is it Dark Side's pedal steel guitar? I don't know what to call it.
We'll call it. We'll call it. We'll call it Yeehaw.
But I'm gonna guess that's already a pre-existing podcast.
I bet you it's
We'll
not.
edge them out. We'll edge them out. We'll get rid of those guys. Well, let's see real quick
We'll
before we
get
get out of
rid of
here.
those guys.
Well,
Yeehaw podcast.
Let's see if Yeehaw.
Well, maybe not.
No, we could
Wait,
do
no,
that.
no,
Oh,
no.
they go Yeehaw podcast. Ah, fuck. Fuck
So
you.
Marvel Music was an imprint, a full imprint.
Okay.
Dang.
And they
Who
made
else got
books
one?
for Bob Marley, Alice Cooper,
Nice. Oh, I remember
Marty
the Alice Cooper one.
Stewart, Marty Party in Space.
All right, let's do Marty Party in Space.
Sounds like Marty Farty, if you ask me.
That rhymes.
John Marty Stewart is an American country and bluegrass singer
Dude, put that on the
who
wheel.
got a comic book.
Supposed to put it on the wheel.
I will definitely do a series of Marvel music comics.
Rolling Stones got one.
I'm totally fine with like loading the wheel up with all of these.
just making just a music wheel.
I'm just saying, like, let's let the wheel decide if this is the direction in which we
Yeah.
take the show.
It's time for a drastic new direction for the show.
Right? Let's get them country dudes.
Dark Side's Couch turned into a country music podcast so gradually I hardly even noticed.
Right? Overnight.
Onks
right.
got a comic.
Onks?
Yeah, we're doing that one.
Onks, Onyx.
All of them.
Wow. All right. That's coming up soon. What's also coming up soon is wrapping up this podcast. This might be the longest episode we've ever done.
I don't know how
Very
long this will
possibly.
be.
I think we're well over 2 hours at this point.
Oh no!
It's a beast of an episode.
All the people that complain like your show's too long. Yep, it sure is.
You
It
can
really
listen
fucking
in
is.
two. Well, it didn't have to get this way, but Mike got super stoned and we got onto a bunch of tangents. because of
I'm
it.
also really tired. I don't know why. Like I decided to go longer.
Well, then then say your goodbye, get your final word out, and let's call it a day.
Achy Breaky Heart was a song from the 90s, and the Ninja Turtles were also super popular at that time. So this totally bleeds into the next one.
There might be a cameo in it. You never know.
Yeah, Archie and the Turtles also cameo in the
In
Billy
the Billy
Ray Cyrus
comic. Shée, you got any final thoughts?
I got some plugs.
Oh God, yeah. Give it to him. Give it
Oh,
now.
but that was me dropping the fork during dinner.
Yeah. Shée, give it to us.
All right. How about don't send us anything this week after all of James's suggestions and
Yes.
listen. Just listen to more
Yeah, don't do
episodes,
it.
okay? Listen to more episodes on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, darksidescouch.com. Follow us at Darksides Couch on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. And like and subscribe anywhere that you see buttons.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Chicago Marathon is less than 4 months away. Oh, fuck, that can't be right. Oh, shit. Oh, that's terrifying. It is.
Yeah, you have to actually do it now.
Oh, man. I might have to make some phone calls, see if I can push that back. But the Chicago Marathon, I am running that in October. We got a fundraiser for it, trying to raise money for the Organization for Autism Research. You can find the link in the notes below. Please throw a few bucks that way. That's all I got to say. Shée, do you have any final thoughts?
No.
What a wreck of how I ended this show. God. Ta-ta for now, Cushy Crusaders. We'll talk to you next time on The Couch.
Now, you might think Archie would try to keep his relationships a secret, but he didn't. Betty and Veronica knew he was dating the other. Still, each girl wanted Archie all to herself.
How do you do it, Andrews? Two broads at the same time? What's your secret?
All right, listen, because I'm only going to say this once, okay? You tell them what they want to hear. That, yes, I'm seeing other girls, but I'm only serious about you.